technicals, for your support. Always killing it. But right now, I'm going to have to say adieu because we're going to see you tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. Brendan's at the big desk and Sharif's at the big screen, guys.
What's up, guys? Welcome to our brand new segment. This is how it's going to be from now on. You guys are going to get to choose exactly what we talk about from 2 to 2:20, and it's going to be all the tickers that you vote for. In case you missed it today, you're going to be able to vote from 1 to 150 for your favorite stocks. We'll cover it technically, not fundamentally, with the big kahunas. So let's get right to it, guys. You guys chose Tesla as your #1 trade. A bit of a tougher day today for Tesla. We got some weak China news from them, and then it ended up selling off. It was in negative territory all day. You'll see still negative on the day. A big move up last week, but that wasn't enough to allow that continuation. So we've been definitely holding at that key technical level, guys. How was your look on Tesla? Did you guys trade Tesla today?
How's it going, guys? Not really. Did you take a piece of Tesla?
No.
Okay. All right.
Next one. Yep. No. Okay. So right now, all right. No. This is so it doesn't matter. That's the whole point, is that we don't have to trade it. The whole point is that we look at the stock. And yeah, I just found out about this 25 minutes ago.
Nice.
So new segment. We'll do it for you guys. All right. So look,
flexible.
I've been talking about Tesla for a minute. I've liked Tesla. I'm actually surprised because we had talked about it earlier and we talked about some levels that we like there for Tesla. And honestly, I think as far as just a technical look, you're above the 50-period moving average down here at 171. I like the long into this, especially with we're down 1.67%. It's actually held out pretty good. We did get a pretty decent flush. I mean, straight off the open, boom. Right there down to the downside, right? That took away all the juice out of Tesla. But the thing is, I feel like we might have found a bottom in and around that 173. I mean, just looking at it, looks pretty good with the market trying to battle back to the upside. Right now, I like Tesla down here. Here's 173 also on the 20-minute chart. So it's been holding 173 for a couple days there. I think it's good considering that we don't have too many catalysts to the north side today. Pretty happy being only down 1.7%. Haven't had a chance to get long, but it is a name definitely on watch there, but needs to get a little lower for me at 173. Anything for you on, any look for you on Tesla?
I mean, I think that's interesting that it kind of like flushes off of the 180. You attempt to break the 180 a couple times over the past a week or so. Coming in today, even Friday, it tried. 179 was 179 and some 63 was the high. Now we're just chopping and churning around that 175, which I also kind of like as like a psychological level. But yeah, nothing really crazy here. Just a consolidation, it would seem, after the morning flush. So I don't really have too much on this one.
Microsoft was in focus today because they've got their AI event coming up this week. They're going to be releasing all the new responses to the ChatGPT as well as Gemini's look from last week. I had a very interesting look on Softy at this level. So 423.75 was a really good look. You can't really see it much on this chart, but there was a bit of a double bottom there, and it held up quite well at that level and then was able to make higher highs and higher lows. I had a nice trade off that. Softy was a bit tough today because it didn't really respect the technicals. How did you guys trade Softy, if at all?
Okay, so right now we're in, first of all, right now we're in Nvidia. Nvidia's coming to the downside right now, so we got to watch out because Fed's Mester is speaking right now. So watch out. We're trying to break lower here. We did mess around with Nvidia up here, 950. Eventually broke into 947, but that sucks. We just missed that out there again. It ripped up to 948.36. You know where we were? 948.74. So here it goes. Not good news right now being stated in the market with the Fed out here speaking. Just got a note too about Copilot there for Microsoft. So 424, 425. Up 1%, so I mean better than the market. I've really liked the report. Oh, there's a Microsoft event happening right now. So yeah, I mean the market's holding up. Microsoft's double the market right now. Bouncing off VWAP, not a bad look at all. The 200 period gets taken right there. Since then, now we're trading underneath it. I mean, you want to know my opinion of Microsoft going for the rest of the day? I would say short. Underneath the 200 period right now, you took it right there. You're now underneath. You're trying to break through the 50, which you're doing, and you're heading into view up. So, I mean, a break of view up, I think you can short that with some protection up here around 425 with the event now being over, whatever that event was. So, nice move down there for Microsoft, still up 1%. But I would favor the short. Just looking at the chart now, breaking below the 200 period, which is tough to say because I'm in this Nvidia long, but I like the Microsoft short now. I'm still Apple short as well.
Yeah, I like, we are kind of right under a bit of resistance here. I'm looking at the monthly and kind of taking it down right there. 430.82 being the high. And then if you take a look at the weekly as well, over the past couple months, we've been attempting to push through this 430. Hasn't really come to fruition just yet. But something to note, I guess, is earnings reaction high in and around that 423, and we are kind of consolidating right above that level as of right now after a strong morning push, a little above last week's highs as well, roughly in and around, again, that 425 level. So very, very similar to what the market's been doing today, very strong off of the open, and a nice little consolidation, bit of a shelf happening here at that 18,740, and then that reflecting on softy as well as that 423 kind of holding as of right now. So yeah, we've been making a little bit of a lower highs here on the day as things consolidate. Look at the ES as well. Wow, that thing is headed right back towards its opening price here. And yeah, with a weak ES, maybe potentially an NQ to follow, who knows, but softy holding consolidation after that morning push right now.
This one is an absolute rocket ship, unreal. 13.75% for Marathon, kind of coinciding with that huge move up in Bitcoin. I know we were flirting with 68,000 on the day, but this was a key technical break. Look at that daily channel. I don't know if you've got it up, but the higher highs and higher lows. Good look today for Marathon. No real specific headline, though, to allow for this, just in sympathy with Bitcoin. Did you guys have a look at Mara?
Oh, boy. Yeah, definitely. Earlier today, I was looking at it. I'm just like, why am I not involved in this? Quite strong. Again, Bitcoin pushing a little bit towards previous highs here. Not all-time highs, but definitely I think it pushed 68 today. Just we'll take a quick look at that one here on the base of the coin. And yeah, look at that. 68 did push right there on the day today. So it is doing some RVOL as well on Bitcoin. And then I guess some of these crypto miners also catching a bit of a bid. I don't know if this specifically had any news. I wasn't necessarily watching. It wasn't on my morning list at all. But yeah, quite a strong move there, Sean. What do you think about this one?
I think I'm trying to get out of some more Nvidia right now, by the way. There it is. We'll take another piece out. We're only in the money $1 here on Nvidia, but it was against us. Let's go. Let's go right now. Okay. Just waiting to see if we can get a little bit higher. 948.75 we were just at. Can you believe that? We didn't get that, Phil? Okay, let's see if it wants to rip up. What are you talking about now? Mara. Okay, so again, I just think that you already nailed it, right? With Bitcoin starting to go 68,424 right now, Ethereum ETF on the way. I feel that we've already nailed the bottom there at 14 a couple times for Mara. Come on, let's go, Nvidia. It's coming back. Look at the market, swoopy downside right there. So something's happened right now in the market. Nice move down. We are going to get stopped out, it looks like, in Nvidia, but the market just pushed. There it is. We should be out soon. The market just pushed down right there on NVDA and on the ES NASDAQ. So we were just $1.50 in the money. I thought it was actually going the other way. But it's this Meister guy yapping one more time. But we're going to wait here to see what happens down at 9:45 or so. But yeah, there's some more action right now in the market. I thought I was bidding down there near 9:45. We'll wait to see if we get something else down there. But 9:45, this is very, very dangerous to start playing this averaging in game right now. But there it is. We take a little piece down at view up right now. News is out, so you got to be very, very careful with it. But all right, so again, we like Mara. I mean, the whole story about Mara, I believe, is the short float, right? I mean, we've already had their earnings. They had a little bit of an offering. Wait a second. Inflation. He's talking about inflation right now. MARA. All right, here's Mara. Short float still 22%. So I still like it, but it's down on the year, down 6% on the year is Mara. So All right, here we go. Nice little move back up to the upside. Let's get going here, NVIDIA. We're still caught, we're long, but we're long at 946.97. So we're just long right here. Let's get up to the upside right now if we can, and then we'll start to have a little bit of sing-song back in on the NASDAQ. So, all right, so my opinion on Mara, pretty simple.
Yeah, that was I think he just said, I don't know, I'm just checking.
Yeah.
I'm just checking the X here. He's saying monetary policy is moderating demand, but not as fast as expected. I don't know if that's what's really bringing that in, because I was like, as soon as that quad came, I'm like, I got to check the news. But yeah, a little clip of that 18.7 area right now. Wild.
So a couple of things just to update you guys on. Microsoft coming out and saying that they're going to make a Surface laptop powered by ARM's latest processor. So keep your eyes on that. Want to mention that because Microsoft is on the rundown. With respect to that big move down that we just had on the SPY, we made all-time highs today. However, that big move down coming as a result of Loretta Mester. Yep, she's speaking at the moment, and the market doesn't like a lot of what she has to say. So keep your eye out here on the futures.
All right. So we just got some more Apple right there. Spin that. So we're short Apple right now, long 191.84. So, or sorry, short 191.84 off that top here for Apple. So Apple's been a great trade off that top. So we've left it alone. We're just getting some more out right now. I need to watch out for Nvidia. Honestly, we've talked, Sharif was talking a little bit on the midday show about some of the sizes and stuff, but let's just get, okay, let's go. Come on, come on. If we can get going upside right now, $1.20, $1.22, maybe this rips. We are now $1 and change in the money on Nvidia. We just bought the dip right there. So, a couple dip buy opportunities right now on Nvidia, and we're not trying to play around. So let's see if we get going here on NVDA. I'm offering $9.49, and then after that, we might want to change that a little bit. That's 9, yeah, that's all the way up. Okay, come on, let's go. Just keep going, keep going. Mester, whatever you're saying now, just keep going and say that, because right now it's starting to go back up to the upside. So, yeah, this is trading, guys. It's going to be stressful at times, and okay, we're going to try to get some more out right now. All right, are we done, or we're going back over there?
We're talking about the, yeah. Okay.
All right, one more.
All right, we have an extra one for you guys today, just because it's running so aggressively. Him and hers, HIMS, absolutely running up on that news catalyst that they're going to actually have GLP-1s available for distribution to their members. Keep your eye on it. It did reject 20, kind of curling back down now, but still very strong on the day.
Okay, yeah. I think that whole GLP-1 always brings in some decent volume as of late. Again, with the whole I think Ozempic run and everything else, a lot of anticipation and speculation as to what some of these new drugs may bring in. But yeah, GLP-1s definitely catalyst to watch out for when it comes to recent biotechs and health sector news. And you can see clearly it's doing some RVOL off of that news, very, very strong off of the open there, breaking through last week's highs. Not only last week's highs, we had earnings just a couple of weeks ago right here, earnings day one being on May the 7th right here, and then we consolidate, break out through the 15 on top of that stacked news. Oh boy, is that quite a strong move off of, again, some of those earnings levels we saw a couple of weeks ago. But taking a bit of a breather right now, Sean, 2010 is the high.
Of SPY?
HIMS.
Oh, HIMS. Yeah, HIMS and hers.
Yeah, yeah.
FFIE today as well. Down to 150. We talked about the SPY. You just did HIMS and hers. So let's just do one more here that we've looked at today a little bit. So we're actually down on Faraday future, but the thing is, it hasn't really recovered at all. Like you had that nice move into 120, which was right when we left on off air. You and I, Obi, and then it came right into that level, which was a level that we had talked about potentially being interested in right there. So that came in, and then unfortunately wasn't here. I feel like that would have been the only real trade to put through. And then even putting that through, the market was tanking, or at least Faraday was tanking, into 122 there. That's a hard trade to put on, when that's happening. And then I'm not even sure where your outs would be. Maybe the close, 110, 115, or maybe you hold it against 1. And even if you held it against 1, you really just got back now into the money for a 1-to-1 kind of trade. So I still like Faraday, but again, need to wait on that one a little bit here as we go. So hims and hers, and there it is. Let us know in the chat if you liked that new format there. You know, instead of us running down a few things, we'll be able to take from the viewers, add it to the list as we go, and then run over a couple names.
Yeah, no, I definitely like that.
I think that went well. Yep, and we got
the
some breaking
interaction
news
there,
in there.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. So let us know in the chat if you like that. All right, AMC going now apparently. So 458. Yeah, again, a really nice bottom. I mean, we talked about that before for AMC Entertainment here, or AMC Holdings. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
It's AMC Hold. I just want to say it the right way. It's Holdings, right? Is that what it is? No, it's AMC. So it's
Entertainment Holdings.
Oh man, it's AMC Entertainment Holdings.
Yeah.
So we got it right both times, I guess. Down there, 435. So that's held. That held on Friday. That held today. It held again. So right now, if this does come back in, I feel like that's a good hold. And then if you want to punch out, I feel like you could really load into these shares if you wanted to. A couple thousand, tens of thousand, whatever, at 435-ish, because you have 5 cents worth of a stop. And look, if your stop gets run, your stop gets run. Honestly, I mean, how many times have you sat here and saw me do that? You know, my stop gets run and it's the bottom or it's the top, or we're lucky enough to sit there and pick up the bottoms and top. It does happen all of the time. So, all right, the other one there, you know, we have talked about VinFast a little bit this morning, and this name is really starting to go, man. Honestly, not just because we talk about it, but this name's worked well. From $3 there in the last couple, we know where it's come from, all right? Let's get rid of that. $3 in last week. This name, I believe with a 21% or so short float, up to $6. But if you're looking at VinFast and you're trading it right here, you're up to a level that we could see some drop off from. We've been here before, $6, but if you break through that, man, then you get your next level of 8 up to 850. VinFast really, really doing well off the 50-period moving average. So as far as some of these EV names, I don't know a chart that honestly, just telling you guys, above the 50-period moving like this, where's Rivian at? You know, I'm saying this as a Rivian shareholder. Like Rivian still below the 50-period, right? Or, okay, we've been down here for so long, it's kind of where the 50-period is. But this doesn't look so bad either. Like getting through that garbage of 9, now to the upside. You had that great trade, and you're out of Li Auto now, but you had that one short
talk about that one later,
to the downside as well. So I like some of these EV names now. I really feel like there's going to be some opportunity to trade them.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of opportunity, not only just intraday, but for the long term as well. Like this, feel like we're just getting started with the whole EV wave. Again, Tesla kind of, I guess, what was it? EVs were around in like the 70s and the 80s, but never really.
Yeah, they were getting squashed by.
Oh yeah, by
project, you know.
Oh yeah, definitely. By
the government didn't want those.
By certain powers in charge, oil. Cough, cough.
There might be something about
may or may not. I mean,
up.
It's kind of obvious. I'm just a trader. I'm just trying to catch these moves here. But yeah, interesting move there on the spider as well. We did kind of cover that real quick. That news or whatever came in. Look at that high volume quadunk wicks right back up. Move got corrected quite instantly there as it flushes day lows, especially on the ES. Wicks right back up and holding some of these Friday levels as well. So let's see if there's any continuation to the downside here, or we can get a little bit of a turn up as well. I guess my position board hasn't been updated right now, but I am sitting a little short here on the Intel. Was looking to add more, but wasn't necessarily at my desk here. It was definitely my fault to get more at the same prices that I was looking at earlier here as well, right? So let's see if it can kind of give me some more chances to get in some more, or it is what it is. We have what we have, and then we just take the trade for what it is, right? So 32 potentially holding as of right now. Some of last week's levels as well here on Intel. I'm looking at Amazon as well. Amazon quite heavy to the downside. We can see that it had quite a strong move in the morning, and it's only been fading since 186 halves all the way down to 183 halves as of right now. So a little bit of a potential level that's been showing up over the past couple of weeks. So let's take a quick look at that and what I mean by that. Okay, so boom, right here. You can see last week, every time, this is Tuesday, comes into 83 and change, bids back up. Comes in quite heavily off the open, bids right back up. Midday and a day comes in, 183s, bids back up. comes in, closes 183s, next day kind of consolidates. So let's see, we have been technically making lower highs into this level of this 183 and some change, maybe 182s, 182.90s, 182.73 being the low of last week. So let's take a quick, well, I'm going to be taking a quick look at this area to see if anything shows up here where we can potentially take a trade either to the downside or back to the upside if these bidders are still kind of present. But something to note is that we have been incrementally making lower highs, kind of building up into this 183 shelf here on the Amazon as well. So just going to continue watching that. Intel, we were talking about a little earlier, just look at that. Coming into previous days levels, well, some of them, not the day highs right there. We kind of double topped at 32.24s if you count both Thursday and Friday. And now we're just chopping around that 32. So maybe this market tailwind could bring us to the downside here potentially. But again, I don't really care. I'm not really biased about it too much. If it comes back up and shows me a lower high, maybe it'll give me that chance to get some more in, maybe in and around VWAP. But yeah, Sean was talking about that LI trade from earlier today, so we can talk about that one as well. I did get all out of it if you guys joined us for the morning session. Quite aggressive selling off of the open, and interesting action happening right here around the 21. Pretty much very capitulatory right there into 2080s, and I was looking left at that 2080. That was the year low. We kind of mentioned it earlier as well. I do want to point out this candle, which was very interesting as well, kind of pointing towards that capitulation type of action here. So I think it's pretty clear on the 5-minute right there. Boom, look at that. More than the opening candle on the 5-minute. Straight into that 2080, goes to 79, 77s. I think is a low there. And then look at that, nice little candle, and then you take a bit of a reversion to VWAP off of that capitulation there. Now we're just coasting sideways. Now something to remember is that this name is still on SSR, as it is down about 15%. Well, it got to about 15% in and around some of these levels right here off of yesterday or Friday's close on earnings as well. So again, trade is, I think for me, the trade was done after that kind of action happened right there. But yeah, I got a little lucky on that one as sellers kind of came in. We were talking about those multi-time frame participants potentially being underwater below some of those levels, and it did come into fruition. So got a little lucky on that trade. Now just watching this Amazon as of right now. So let us know what you guys are trading in the chat. I know there's a lot of names that are moving around, a lot of moves in the open. We're ranging on a bunch of names there. So depending on your playbook, a lot of opportunities to be had there. What do you got going on, Sean?
Oh, not much. Just I'm actually just watching Nvidia, to be honest with you. I covered some Apple down there. Apple's actually at a decent level. We could talk about that as like Nvidia's $1.50 in the money, and I'm not covering it. Like we're above VWAP here for the futures. I think we could. I don't know. Like the 50 periods. What's bothering me is this 50 period moving average just keeps bouncing its head up. It hasn't really meant anything today, and it doesn't mean everything all the time. It doesn't mean anything all the time at all. It's just more of a trend thing. So I just think if we can get above it, then we can change. Like get through this 18,750 and then try to get back to 18.8. Remember 18.8, huge psychological number. That was a brand new all-time intraday high was made right there. So we talked about that being at 18.77. Was that tick right there, 18,772 when we left you guys, and then it just ramped through it, stopped, stalled, and then Mester was here. What was this? There was something about I wasn't sitting here. This is what screwed me on Nvidia the first time. When we were going long up here on Nvidia, hoping to break, and then all of a sudden there was some sort of a news about more conflict or something like that, which kind of sucks. Obviously, we don't want to. It was never confirmed. Yeah, I did come back and I heard a Darren Shreve talking about it, but that's okay. Anyways, I just would like to see a little bit of a bounce back. But just quickly, Apple, we just took another piece out. Just came right into 191.20s there, which is the best we've gotten on this stock. We got 191.08. We did take our lumps, shorting it all the way up until eventually we found the bottom. I told Obi too bad it had to hurt before it finally felt fine. But that's part of it, right? And so we finally found that top there at 192. Should have been a lot more patient with it than we were, and then we'd be really, really happy with it, and we'd have more shares. But we don't, and we're still happy. Good battle back on that stock for sure after being short and then finally catching that top. So sometimes you can weasel your way out of positions, which I think we did pretty good here on Apple, but definitely shorting it into that move was not right. And I thought Apple was going to be a little weaker than the market. And why? Because we had bumped our head off 191 a couple times here. last week. And I just was not expecting us to beat it, but we did. So right now, unless this market like really starts to rip up here, like if we just sort of stay where we are, I really think that tomorrow, if we can get dip buys into 190, 190, I mean, we should come into 191 right now. We're in there right now. But that's what I mean. If we stay around here, I kind of like the long again for Apple, just staying above 190. But for now, the market is really holding every single stock that I have right now hostage because Apple's not moving and Nvidia, I think, wants to go lower. But I know that there's that juice behind it. It got the double upgrade with earnings coming Wednesday. Our trader's going to be, the way I look at it, which is why it's the number one on here, which is why we smashed it through 940 earlier. I mean, this was our earlier trade where we took $8 twice right there. So that's right there, $3, $8, that's more than $8, but $7.50, $8 right there. And then we went long again, and that's that move that hit us to the downside. So we just kind of lost a little bit there. But then right now we're trying to buy this dip, which may or may not be successful here, Obi. So that's what I'm waiting for right now. We will have Michael Nauss on the recap show tonight where we'll talk about some of the plays that he had, talking about some of those short squeezes, some Robinhood names, some Beyond Meat. I want to talk to him about gold. You know, we really like gold. We've talked about that a little bit lately as well. So, but yeah, that's what we're doing. We can go back over some names. I mean, Obi's on Intel right now. He already did Li Auto. I'm still waiting for Nvidia to settle down. I mean, here it comes right back up to the upside again. So maybe a potential piece out again at 948 if we just keep dancing. My out is a little bit higher, like 948.60s. See if we can get one more push higher here through the 50 on the futures and then maybe back through 950 Obi. And then we'll be much happier with the performance today for ourselves.
Yeah, no, I'm asking that question. What's the next trade? I'm still watching kind of, again, maybe potentially Amazon or like, I know we were looking at the SPY as well. If the SPY can kind of hold that low, 529, maybe perhaps take a potential reversion on that one. But again, with Fed speakers speaking and we're getting these incremental quadunks and volatility off of potential things maybe happening. I have no idea. I kind of looked at my Twitter just to see what potentially could be causing some of this. So maybe some monetary policy statements as well, causing potential volatility as well. But again, at the end of the day, I'm listening. I'm trying to do my best to listen to the chart and the price action to kind of guide me to the next trade. And yeah, like I said earlier today, like I just want to take price action trades. Just looking for the offside potentially there. So if we get some trend breaks, maybe some consolidation breaks, and look for potential players offside.
Sir.
Here's a little bit of a bid that's coming in. So maybe we shall see. But I'm going to stay patient and see what the next trade may or may not be here. Amazon, oof. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, look at this. Look at this this fade here. Quite aggressive, right? So when is this relief? If it's going to even come in, is it going to come in? Maybe I'm okay with being fashionably late to the move there. Once it actually shows me that buyers are maybe back in control here, we can draw a little bit of a trend line or even throw up a moving average. Might be a little closer, cleaner, depending on what you're using there. But again, look at that. Quite aggressive to the downside, distinctly different from some of these other names here. Again, running through the large constituents, which we can do right now. We can just go through Softy right here. We did take a look at it just a few minutes ago in the new session there, so you can see that not as weak right there. Apple as well. Apple not weak at all, holding this shelf above that 191. We were talking about that 191 and some change being last week's high, and we've only been consolidating just above that. So quite some strength there on the Apple itself. Goggle, take a quick look at Alpha. And yeah, so holding I guess a bigger picture trend. Sure, we've sold off quite aggressively. I was looking at this move and I was like, damn, that's quite an aggressive sell-off. But again, zoom out just a little bit, and you can see that it is well within trend that we've been doing since last week. You got a strong little look at that R-vol as well on Monday pre-market, and we've only been bidding up since then. So again, if you want to draw in a couple of trend lines right there, roughly, boom, right there. A bunch of my anchors show up as well. But yeah, exactly. So we're holding above quite some levels there as of last week on the alphabet. But again, going back to Amazon, not really showing the same kind of sentiment here as the rest of the tickers. So let's see what we do. Again, we talk about this this support, that 183 area roughly. So maybe this is where we catch a bid here. But let's see, that Quadunk was quite aggressive. We pretty much lick grabbed this range on the NQ and then lick grabbed the lows on the ES as well. So maybe we get a bit of reversion right now. Hopefully we get that market tailwind and potentially look for that Amazon long coming in. But what do I know? I'm just waiting, being patient.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you know, honestly. I mean, part of that is...
I know that I don't know.
No, but I mean, you know to be patient, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to find is the best trades. And I mean, that's part of being on a prop floor is that we have the ability to put in, you know, more shares than we would, you know, trading our own account. So this gives us a lot of opportunities, and if you wait for the right time, then you can really lever up and get into the right spots. So, I mean, right there, we just took a $2 winner on Nvidia, so that's a good example of something being very, very patient. I mean, we put this trade on in front of you guys when we were doing our review. We went down, we talked about Nvidia falling into VWAP and into the 200 period. So that's 946 OB. We just got out there at 949 almost, 948. Well, it's where we were waiting, 948.70, like we said. So it did make that move to the upside there, or was it 60? Hold on a second. 948.60, sorry. So we got filled right here, right now. That's that tick right there. So now we'll wait to see, right here, sorry, where this goes now. I'm waiting for 950. My next offer, actually I canceled my 950. All right, that's a little silly, Sean. All right, let's get up there to 950. So let's go 949. Let's go 60s again. Let's just keep playing into the 60 range. What I found out actually about this stock and most of these stocks that we're looking at here, I heard Adair mention Meta, like the spread when it opens up is tricky. It's tricky to get filled. Obviously, Meta is a $400 name, close to $500. This is a $950 name. So when you're talking about making sure you're getting filled, making sure you have your orders at the right spot, I think it's super important that you do that because look at this. This is 100 shares and it's not going through. So someone just hit it there, so it did. But at the end of the day, if you're not at the right spots posting your offers or your bids, you may even want to divide them up, which is why I have so many out. It doesn't mean why I have so many outs, but I just feel like if you post 100 lot, might take a while because it might stop the flow instead of maybe posting 250 share lots. I don't know, just could be something, some little stuff that I'm trying to do is that. So you're not standing in front of it, and a lot of the time your order doesn't get missed or anything. It's just if it sees your order go in there, a lot of the times it will almost stop on a dime and wait for you. So I'm going to wait for that now. Alibaba, again, the stupidest part is, again, for this one, is we went long here at 50s, 88, 50s, out in the 80s and 90s, right? Then it came back in and we defended 88. But you see this level, this is what we talked about earlier. This is where my other order was, 87.75. The lowest we got to was 87.80. So we were 5 or 6 pennies away from getting filled and then using something like this, 60s or 50s, as our out. So that would have been nice. But all we've really done is get out of this. So there's profit, and if you kind of line this up, 2 kind of flat trades, then another one, then some profit on the top, and then if we can get higher for Alibaba, I think Alibaba takes 90, right? Not today, unless the market really goes, in which if Alibaba takes 90 and this market goes, then Nvidia is going to be, you know, I'll be really ecstatic with whatever happens to Nvidia. So let's see what happens with Alibaba right now. A good out, maybe right here, 88.70, 88.60. Something in that range, I think, makes me pretty happy. But now we're $3. We haven't hit this much today. I don't know if they got any dollars on the midday or not, but 1, 2, 3 right here for Nvidia. It's $3 off that buy. We just put this buy on just a couple minutes ago. By that, maybe 20, as we went to the downside on some Mester talk, and then right back up now to 950. Oh my God, Obi. Remember I was saying we were at 949.60?
Yeah.
It stopped at 949.40.
Wow.
See, so that's going to bug me because
that's
now
like the spread pretty much.
Yeah, but see what happens? So now it's all the way down, now $1. Just from missing that one out. So if you're sitting there and I'm at 40s instead of 60s, you know, sure, it could come back up and gets hit, but that's the frustrating part as a day trader, that's all. And a lot of our retail traders that are watching this won't be able to identify that because
Right.
they're not in front of a live level 2. So, but anyways, there it is.
It does make I think that does make a big difference. I speak to some of my friends who do trade retail sometimes, and I'm just like, I don't know how you guys do it without a level 2. It's absolutely wild to me, bewildering. But again, there was a time where I also attempted to trade just purely off of charts. Now again, I guess you can read kind of price action off of the chart, like candlestick action and stuff like that, which is interesting in itself. But no, I do think that looking at the tape, watching the spread, and seeing how that kind of moves is definitely a vital part of at least how I attempt to tackle the markets there. And again, now reading a few books now, definitely the tape is a strong part of a day trader's arsenal. Let's say that.
You're reading one of my favorite books, which is all about tape reading, The Reminiscence of a Stock Operator.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure you've done that now. That's not
a few. Yeah, I like that one. That's a good one. I've read that a couple times there. Right now, I think I'm reading Studies in Tape Reading by Wyckoff from like 1910. So
Oh, actually.
Yeah. That one's pretty
we
good.
call them the Wyckoff candles. There.
Yeah. So it's interesting because some of the stuff he mentions in the book is pretty much the same stuff that kind of happens today. I'm just like, well, yeah, damn. It does. Maybe it reflects to the fact that like it's still for the most part humans that are trading it, humans that are programming the algos, and that behavior, that psychology still kind of persists in the markets. It's just an interesting kind of look there. Tape reading is overrated. All right, okay, we can agree to disagree on that one. But no, I think it's an amalgamation of both. Again, confluence, right? Tape, chart, maybe a little bit of fundamentals as well. But again, I think the tape and price action. Sorry, the chart and price action are my biggest things. I think I don't need much more than that. By tape, I mean like book and tape as well.
Yeah.
A little bit of a tangent there, but okay. So we're back in the range on the NQs there. A nice little recovery on the ES. Well, not really recovery, but like we recovered that opening price on the ES. So yeah, let's see where we go from here. Softy still consolidating in its range there. Apple didn't really take a hit on that move there as well. Goggle still holding now its range. What are the lows here? 176.4s. Yeah, and Nvidia as well. Nvidia kind of holding that range near its highs. So yeah, you can see kind of reflected there on the NQ, recovering back onto the shelf we were talking about earlier, 18,740. So potentially there. Still holding on to this Intel here. I don't think I got to get in and out of a position for that board to update. But again, I don't think I'm really going to do that until I see the next trade. But I'm still watching. Let us know in the chat what you guys have been trading. Renata is saying Nvidia earnings so scary. Yeah, I mean they really haven't happened yet, but yeah, let's see. Why are you scared? I'm curious to know of Nvidia earnings. I think I was talking to Max back there about Nvidia earnings. The past few earnings just been gapping, right?
Here we go.
So, there we go. Yeah, right to 950s.
Yeah, we just got some out at 949.25. I agree with you, Obi. There's absolutely nothing to be scared of. Like, I mean, I don't understand that comment, but the thing about it, I'm sure she's just joking. I mean, I'm scared of what it's going to do to the market if they miss. Like, I'm not afraid. I mean, I'm sitting here. Get what?
Get a bit of a discount, maybe?
I mean, I'd be buying, yeah, I mean, definitely. I'd be buying the dips. Like, we've already retraced back down 22% on this name from its highs. We went down to 750.
Yeah. I think, what was it, Drunkenmiller saying that he's looking for a bit of relief as well. He's been selling all of last month.
I think some of these guys that base it on value and base it on like price movements and where we've come from, like, yeah, if you're long this name, which everybody is, there is a point to be taking something off when you get into this sort of territory where potentially, as we can see here, we are a little bit over.
He's definitely a significant player.
Oh yeah, all these guys. But the thing is that
he's in the Market Wizards books.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know, man. Like, I listen to a lot of podcasts, and a lot of these jokers are always talking like gloom and doom. A lot of them. Meanwhile, markets at all-time highs.
There's some perma-bears.
I feel like if you listen to half the people that are out there, more than half, you would have missed this whole run up. And so it's just like, often when I see a drunken miller or guys like that, anybody, it doesn't really matter who it is, it's just part of the thought is maybe they're looking for it to go down so they can potentially buy more.
Yeah, that's what I said, a discount.
Yeah.
If we come down on it, it's
Right.
a
But
discount, yeah.
I just wonder if they're basing their opinion truly on what they believe of the stock or what they just want the public to think in order to potentially get a better price. I mean, that stuff happens.
A little bit of a K2 level mind games, maybe.
Yeah, but I think it happens everywhere, right?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, think about
market.
it. Yeah, from
At
like
the end of the
a
day, it's a
sports
market.
thing, you always want to, try to get the best price in a trade. You always want to pay a little less than what you can, and not pay $700 million. What's up, Ramin? To Shohei Ohtani, who's doing amazing. These Blue Jays, man, they should just pay Shohei Ohtani like $1.7 billion or something. What's the difference at this point? All right, now there goes NVIDIA to 950. So we've done real well, man. We were really, really patient. NVIDIA, I told you, we lost our way with it. It's back up to PL1, and we're pretty happy with it. So here we go. Let's get back up to the upside. I honestly don't even have any offers anymore. We're in the money now, $4, and we've been buying this whole way. I'm channeling my inner Obi here with holding something for as long as we possibly can.
Hopefully not against you.
Yeah, that's not. I know that's not you, but wait.
I do that sometimes.
Wait for the right opportunity. I mean, did you see this guy's lead trade? Did you even talk about where you got out?
I took a I did talk about.
Yeah,
that.
I mean, come on, that's.
I mean, it was again going back to tape reading and kind of chart reading as well. We talked about like why and what happened down there. It was very, very distinctly different. Again, yeah, sure, tape reading. Some people talking some smack about tape reading in the chat. Yeah, a lot of it's random, but you have to be looking for non-random in the randomness, right? That's what makes the difference.
Let's go. We're now 951, 952. Here we go, going back up to the upside. Yeah, there it is. Oh, wow, look at that little bit of an exhaustion candle up there to 951. So I think we got to put an offer here, 951.40, just in case that happens again. And then maybe, just maybe, we'll be done selling right now. $5 winner right now for Hydration Nation. Shout out to Shakib, shout out to my Alibaba shareholders that are down there. Shout out to everybody that's been long here with NVIDIA with me into the close as we keep on going back up to the upside. So yeah, I don't, I mean, I can do you and I can do a whole lesson on why I think tape reading is very important. I mean, to me, what tape reading is trying to identify momentum and trying to identify when potentially the buyers have dried up and or the sellers. And then if you combine tape reading with level 2 and the ability to read what potential, and this is the level 2 here, potential orders that are coming through, how they sort of, we used to have, shout out to Luca that used to talk about like tape teleportation.
Yep.
That was a cool word. And where all of a sudden, and that's what I just saw in NVIDIA. I was like, holy, because all of a sudden it just rips up there, dies off on this wick up there, and then comes right back down to the downside. So, it's that kind of movement where you can really tell where the buyers and sellers come from. So I believe that there's a lot of
and like reserves.
legitimacy. Reserve, so
like
that's
reserves, size.
Yeah.
Like there's
That's
a
where you
lot
compare
of
with the level
interesting.
2.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, like
You know.
that stuff you're not seeing on a chart.
It's not possible.
It might look a little
You can
like
use
some
volume
weird
profile
Yeah.
to see where the volume is being conducted. You'll get some more.
Yeah. But again, that's not going to show you like reserves and size and tape indicators, right?
Here we go.
That's what I'm talking
NVIDIA,
about
you
here.
son of a nice
Yeah, a little bit of a pop up
Go
here. We're
Jensen.
printing the second 15-minute green
Go
candle
Jensen.
as of right now after that strong little flush.
We're $5. Holla at $5.
$5 in the money. Yeah, you clipped the bottom of that range there.
Yeah, I don't know how
What's
we did that.
Is that a 50 period that you like to use?
No,
there?
this is VWAP.
Oh, damn. Okay, all right. Yeah.
And there it is.
Boom.
Yes, sir. We'll give some
Nice.
props to ourselves here because
Good trade.
Yeah, we waited for this top. So we don't normally do this, Obi. But we're long NVIDIA right now, 946.30. So this is $5 in the money and Rip City right now. And honestly, we put on our biggest position of the day when we down there. We had a big one on here. And then Brendan made me check the lights in the podcast room, Fabian. But no, that dipped down anyways. We would have, it triggered our stop order. There's nothing we could have done. When that news came out there, we got stopped out. But thankfully, Brendan and Fabian. Thanks for doing such a good job on the lighting. We were able to come back and buy it again. So we talk about having that confidence, even though we got stopped out there, we came back and we still like the levels. And then once we realized, because we heard Adara talk and Sharif talk that there was potentially confirmed, unconfirmed Middle East stuff. So when I heard that that was the issue and we only had a few red candles there and then it was starting to get bought back up, we liked the trade. And it is also, where the heck is something called the sticky note? It is also the #1 idea on here today. Buy the 940 long break. So, and then we buy, and it also talks about buying dips. So we love playing dips into VWAP. So there it is. Put that on the board right now. It's a good one. I hope for longer on NVIDIA. And by the way, I finally tried an iced matcha latte.
Oh,
Is that what it's
okay, yeah.
called? Pretty good.
I have no idea, but yeah,
Pretty good.
yeah, nice.
I forgot to say half sugar or whatever, or no sugar. I don't know. But normally I don't put anything in it, so it tastes a little bit sweet. But shout out to Aroma with the. It's called the Aroma Salad.
Yeah.
So you get to choose. What would you choose? So you get to choose a protein. You could choose like a chicken salad, a tuna salad, but it's not really mixed with like mayonnaise. Both of them, the chicken and the tuna, it's not.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just like onions and it's just
Okay.
fresh. And then or egg, like a sliced egg.
I think in terms of I guess protein,
That's
I'd
it,
go
it's like
I'd go with the chicken.
Go with the
Definitely.
chicken. Yeah. I was a
Chicken packs
chicken
a little
or
bit
tuna
more
guy.
of
I
a
went
punch
tuna today.
when it comes
And
to
then it had a maple
protein.
balsamic on it.
Salmon's not too bad as well, but like it does have a little higher fat competition.
What's up with that Cabanos burgers, man?
Oh, they were closed today. Yeah.
Yo, next time I'm
Yeah,
down
yeah.
for that.
Okay, yeah,
Because
yeah.
now that we got the reco from, was it from someone on the floor?
I think yeah. Shout out
Yeah.
to Yanni. He definitely put that on the map for me. I was like, yeah, Cabano's Burger is
Is it a
sublime.
walk from here or it's an Uber?
It's a walk.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
it's
fine.
like a 5-10
we'll have to
minute
go. I
walk.
want to go.
Yeah.
I want to go check that place
Yeah.
out. So that's the next place
Oh,
to
it's
go.
solid. Absolutely solid.
All right. I asked Ramin what she got for lunch, but she's not answering me. So honestly, I need to get out of here. All right. Yeah, I saw Dara got some eggs over there.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't like? I love miso soup.
Miso soup? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all right.
So she's being as kind as she is, very kind individual in general. She gave Fabian a choice: sushi,
Okay.
Thai food, a burger,
Yeah. Can never go wrong
Chicken
with
burger.
burgers. Yeah, okay.
and a poke bowl. Oh, I would like the poke bowl.
Pokeball?
I like the tuna poke bowl.
Pokemon?
Pokemon?
What?
Charizard?
Pikachu?
I don't know a team anymore. Wordle? No, that's a game.
War Turtle.
War Turtle?
War
Okay, good
Turtle,
one.
yeah.
Right there. Yes. So I
right.
would.
Well-
Yeah, my daughter. Sushi is my daughter's favorite Uber Eats thing to get. Just those little maki rolls, like.
Okay.
Not the actual, pieces of fish, but she likes
Yeah.
the shrimp tempura as well. But I'm a big miso soup guy as well, so I like miso.
I prefer the sashimi a little bit more than the sushi, but yeah, no, it's all good stuff, I think.
Let me guess, no
Healthy
extra
foods.
miso or anything like that over there.
Sorry?
I said,
Oh,
let me guess, no
for
extra
Ramin,
miso
yeah.
lying around over there? No, I'm just playing around. I don't want some. No. All right, let's go to Hims. Yeah, tofu.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, tofu's a good little protein you could throw on there. Sometimes if we get those freshie bowls, I'll go with protein. Hold on a second before Adara. I know Adara is patiently waiting. I just want to get to this first because
People calling out hymns. Richard.
oh, Adara's
chat.
leaving right now. Do not. Oh, she doesn't have her mic. So that would have been. See,
Yeah. What?
I tell the people everything, Ramin. What do you think? It's an honest show.
It means like
Sorry, Adara had her mic.
proprietary information there, Sean.
My bad, Ramin. My bad. Adara did have her mic, just wasn't turned. It was turned on, and Ramin wasn't ready for her yet. That's.
Sean just wanted to talk a little bit more. That's
No,
all it
actually,
was.
I'll give it to you. I'm honestly, I'm ready to rock. I'm ready to rock all day. Okay, so I want to check out Hims because this was a name again. They're in that Ozempic. They're carrying as part of their catalog now, I guess. I don't know enough about this company, obviously, by the way I'm talking, but we had already talked about this here today, and I think it's a big, huge win to break through that 16 area and now trying to hold above it. So, I mean, this name's been pretty hot for a minute, going all the way back to that October bottom of $5. Just came right back into 11 and 12 where there was past resistance, turned into support now. Whenever you have past resistance into support, it's kind of like Alibaba at 80. I really like that. And then you take out highs. This stock is a winner, man. It was a winner at $15. And I would not be surprised And again, we can go over the fundamentals of this. I'm sure that they're not where you'd want them to be based on this move. But if there's anything to it, and the short squeeze, I believe we talked about this earlier, into the 20s here for this name. Let me just double check it before we get carried away. No, it's only 13% short right now. So decent level right there. And Ramin is now ready for me to throw over to Adara.
Keep an eye on MSFT, Microsoft. If you're involved in this name or if you're looking at it, worth noting that Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft, is set to be live on Bloomberg at 3 p.m. So in about 10 minutes, we'll hear some comments from Satya Nadella on Bloomberg. Worth noting if you're involved in Microsoft, guys.
Satya, you know, they put a statue up of that guy.
Of
Yeah, outside the Microsoft office.
okay.
Outside the
cool.
Microsoft office.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. It's interesting.
Yeah.
He's,
Yeah, I'm not saying that, Adara. That's. If Sharif was here, he'd be giving you so much props, and this would be the funniest thing ever. But that was a good one. I'll leave that for her next time. Leave it for Adara. Okay, so right there, Nvidia, nice little move to the top there, 951.35. We did take a piece out. We're still holding out for the dream, you know. But we're out already. Like we're only holding 25, maybe 30% or so of our position that we had down here. We got a lot of outs at 950, and then that move right there into the day's high. We have to take some out. I mean, and if you missed that and you're like, oh man, I missed that, you can take it right now. It's 950.80. That price is 951.40s. So the fact that you can get it right here, right now, isn't horrible if you think there's a pullback. Remember, I trade both ways here. Like, I got to look at the stock, but then also look at the futures. When we were underneath the 50-period moving average, remember what I said? If we can break it and hold above, then let's see how far we can get. Well, we didn't get very far at all. So would have liked this test back into day's high. I feel like we didn't even really sniff that. We kind of got halfway, not good enough for me, all the way back to these past tops that were faded off and got right back into lows every time. So I wouldn't be surprised if you top out again, boom, boom, and then you just topped out, potentially coming back to the 50. We could buy some more Nvidia there. Coming back to VWAP, obviously needs to hold that, but at the end of the day, I feel pretty confident about this trade. I know you're still only in, so by the way, Obi's, what's your price, quarters? 32 quarters or 30?
I got 32.22.
Yeah, okay, so you're still in that Intel trade. It's not on the board yet because he's got to, I mean, you could get in and out of one of those little stupid stocks if you wanted to, but we've already told people that what it is. So we don't get, it doesn't show up on the bottom until we take a fill. So he's holding that position.
Sometimes it does that, yeah.
That's why I want, no, not sometimes, all the time.
Okay.
Until you get a fill, it won't show up.
Okay, when
so what I'm saying is you can punch in and out of Siri, for example, lose half a penny, and then that position would show up.
Okay, true. Yeah.
But you know, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that.
Or I can wait for an Intel to come back up and get more in, which is what I'm looking for.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Yes. And without Brankles here, you have free reign.
Oh, I don't know about that.
You do.
If Brankles has to say something.
Wayne asked if I want a piece of pizza, and I didn't go and get it. Oh man, she gone.
Yeah, no, if Brankles has to get up and say something, it's already probably too late. It might be like $1 out.
Sometimes I look over, Brankles like, Obi, where's your stop order?
Thanks.
Oh my God, yeah, thank God Ty's not here. Nothing would have been around. That Ty guy, man, Captain Protein.
At the end of the day, I have to be my own risk manager, right?
No, that's it.
I gotta, that's you know.
So yeah, just in case you're wondering, Brankles and Wayne both manage the floor here, and then newer traders, manage everybody, basically. Help with risk and help with more buying power or questions and stuff like that. So,
more buying power.
Shaking my head and shoulders, yeah. All right, so let's look at something else for right now. I'm holding on to these positions. Alibaba is still hovering around. I like that trade. I'd like to get into something else. So I have a bunch of scanners up here. Like the names that I look at, just to show you my watch list here, you know, I kind of just go with big time names. And then I sort them often. So GameStop is down 9. Oh, GameStop's at, okay, see, so right there. GameStop's at $20. So let's go have a quick look at GME.
Ooh.
This is a level that we've liked in the past. Oh, it's already bounced. It already broke. See what the? Okay, Sean, why don't you just calm down here and look at GameStop before we get so excited that's already at 20. So there's that breakdown to 19. We had GameStop all Friday off 20 right here. It was gorgeous. And we got out at the end of the day. I think it was 21.80 or something. I think it was in and around, yeah, there it is, right there, 21.80. Okay, good memory. Right there, I think we got took the out, or we took it right here on the second time around. We definitely didn't have that bump into the close, but at the end of the day, GameStop gave it all back, down 9%. I didn't realize it was down here because AMC was up and still is up. So maybe that tweeting of all those movies might have helped. I don't know. I don't think there's anything. There was that Return of the Apes Kingdom was one of the popular ones there. Planet of the Apes Kingdom version or something?
Some great memes
Dungeon?
coming out of that.
Yeah. So that was there. But I think there was a new #1 this week.
There is that new Planet of the Apes movie, I think.
Well, that is the one that was set. Yeah, that was
seen
#1 last week, but there was a new one this week. But anyways, AMC, the thing about AMC that's a little bit different than GameStop, I think, is that that's still GME. Okay, that should be on AMC. No? Yes, there it is. AMC had $4, I think, is what we looked at before. Yeah, so there's a little bit of a shelf here, $4 that goes all the way back to last year at this time. So like we've been here before on AMC, which is the difference. So I think that could be a decent level with hopes that we get another pop. While on GameStop, there's really, it just got blown up so high there, up into $80 bucks. Wasn't it 80? It must have been. I don't know why we don't have that. 80 in the pre-market. But GameStop could still fall. You see into these levels right there, 14s. So I feel like until we get into 14 or 15, that's maybe sort of the moon zone, I guess, if that makes any sense, even though it's to the downside. But that might be where we start to pop back up, where you have the 200 period moving average right there. So that could be something for sure down near 14 or 15 for these guys. So Nvidia fell back through 950 right now. Still think it's worth holding though.
It's a bit of a, again, like I'm just watching the futures here, still kind of chopping in that range, right? So we are getting a little bit of a pullback off of that. Again, we talked about the quick lick, the lick grab that we had of these range lows of day low here on the ES, quite aggressive, and then picks right back up on a quick little correction, and then now we're back trading in that range, especially for the, well, on the NQ as well. ES, I guess more of the ES was a better look for a pullback towards the opening prices there. But yeah, a lot of these tech stocks not really showing that kind of action here. Only the ones in the NQ, I guess, holding somewhere in and around near their highs. For the most part, right? For the most part, again, Google looking slightly different than that. When I say for the most part, I just mean Nvidia, Softy, and Apple. So Nvidia, Softy, and Apple, for the most part, are kind of holding holding most of their gains on the day as of right now. I guess I'm still waiting for this Intel to potentially come in. I definitely missed this right here. This was definitely a place to get more on the trade. Once I did see that it kind of failed to follow through this 32 quarters. Again, a little late on the entry here. I did hesitate a little bit there. It could have been much nicer, closer to that 32.30, but it is what it is. We got what we got, and it's just looking for it to potentially come right back in, or if it doesn't, we'll take it back down to where potential target is. But again, it's holding in and around some of last week's levels here. Amazon bidding back up into this 184. Let's see whether or not it can kind of go sideways for a little bit. Maybe the intraday shorts timing out on their short if we go sideways for long enough and then start to pull back up, maybe for a reversion into VWAP there. But again, I don't think it's quite ready yet. Again, we kind of marked this a little bit earlier there. A bit of a trend. We're kind of going sideways on that, just underneath that 184. But again, it is 2:58, about 2 minutes away from power hour. So I will be a little patient for that hourly candle to close and some of the higher time frame candles to close to really potentially make a decision if there is one to be made there on the Amazon. But yeah, I'm not really looking at too much else. There, Sean, Roku. I know that Roku, Ponzi Fonzie talking about Roku. There's a few mentions of Roku in the chat earlier on as well, but I haven't really taken a look at it as of yet. So let's take a quick look at what you guys may be potentially seeing here on Roku. So quite a sell-off off of the open there. I don't know if this had news per se, but let's see. Okay, 3 days ago, price target maintained, dive deeper. It doesn't seem like there's anything on this platform.
They got it in some sort of an MLB Saturday, Sunday game.
So they got like a deal, like a sports deal.
Yeah, but they got hit. They're not going up.
Yeah, they've been making lower highs and lower lows since this action on last Tuesday. Again, we kind of broke out of this bit of a multi-week shelf post earnings day high, kind of coming in as resistance underneath this 61 area. We do get above it and push right up into 66s, and now we're back below that 61 mark after attempting to hold on to it for a few days last week. But yeah, a nice little flush, putting most of last week's volume and participants offside here on Roku below the 61-ish level there. I think what was the week low? The week low, I guess no, if you don't count Monday, because Tuesday is when that day that action really comes in. So I guess Tuesday onwards, everybody's underwater below that 61 price on Roku, pushing to further lows there. What's the earnings reaction low, you may ask, or I may ask? It's right here at that 56 mark. So still quite a ways away. Yeah, multiple people asking potentially, but yeah, no, 56, maybe not within the range of today's action, but it is kind of breaking down previous week's low. So some of that sell pressure coming in on the Roku. So yeah, Ponzi Fonzie, let us know what your idea on that Roku is. Are you short? Are you long? What are you doing with that ticker? But I'm still looking for the next trade. I don't know where or when it may show up, but again, trying to be patient as possible here. Again, that's what I find. I find that I take the most losses whenever I'm like chasing into a move, a little too aggressive. So I'm like, all right, we'll stop doing that. All of last week, I was in a bit of a chasey mood. So I'm just like, yeah, you need to calm down a little bit and be a little patient for the move to come in. Some of the best trades being those that I'm just waiting for, and they kind of just show up. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll take that. Thank you very much. Yeah, so just going to be patiently waiting for that one. Intel coming right back in, potentially lower lows relative to the strength that we had in the morning, making lower lows and lower highs below VWAP now on the Intel. Again, not really expecting too much, just a quick little fade trade of that morning momentum. Let's see if we get that market tailwind on our side to help us along, blow some wind in those sails there.
Yeah, so right now I'm starting to get a little winded looking at Nvidia because it's just stuck in this zone again. I don't know, man. Like it's bouncing off the 50 period, but I kind of got scared there when it almost took 949 and wicked right into the 50 period. I'm still waiting for it to take out the top. I don't even want to get out of anything. I still think that there's a nice move on here. The true range of average daily range of this is probably, I mean, we haven't even moved that much. 938. Up to 951, $13. I mean, Nvidia can move way more than this. So let's just see if it wants to go. Like I said, the whole premise for me to try to hold this is to try to see if there's buyers coming in here, especially near the end of the day into power hour, because I mean, you're now wait a minute, they report Wednesday night. So you've got basically the rest of today, which is tons of time, and then tomorrow, and then Wednesday earnings day left to trade it. And if this market continues to go higher, I mean, what price will Nvidia even be at by the time earnings have arrived on Wednesday? So I mean, if you like to buy the name, I'm thinking that they'll come in and buy it today, which they already have. It's up 2.75%. We had a great trade rate there at 940, and look what happened. It came in and held 940, and I know Sharif and Adair were looking at that one. That's another gift. This is probably even a better one, because then it just goes. This time, it's sure wet. This was better because this was 3 minutes, we had $8. Yeah. So that was better. But this, as far as like calm down, see the levels, not have to put on that much risk because you have an out, which is clearly defined. I like that trade. I like that trade a lot, but we didn't have it because we were not here. So, that's part of it. The other thing here is Google. So I wanted to see Google down here at these levels because, and I know you've already talked about this, but this is a pretty good area. It almost got me long, didn't quite fall into 176 enough. We were sitting here, we could have taken that. I was waiting to buy these. I wanted to buy the open there in Google, thought that we could have came down. Like again, bad news, sort of the market, look at the trend to the downside. But again, it's not going to keep going unless there's some kind of significant news, and I don't think there is to sell Google. So when you get a pullback in like this, it's probably just a program turned on. hits the high. The next thing you know, we're down into these zones. So I thought this was a great buy, and it looks like we were right down there at 176.50. So that was another good opportunity there. Apple's still bleeding. So I wanted to talk about this because we just got that. So we'll just go another one. On the bear side. So we were sitting there. This is a 1-minute chart. So Apple fell back into what level is this? VWAP.
VWAP.
So Apple fell right back in. So we got days high into VWAP. So now we're getting lighter on that one. And I'm just hoping for the market to rip because we've got Alibaba long at 88. And then we've got Nvidia long down here at 946, $4 in the money. So that's what I'm waiting for. And then I still have all these up. Like I still have all these scans up. Like look at Affirm down here at $33. That could be an opportunity to go long if we can hold. It's been pretty good, down 2.5%. So I don't like it. Let's go. What other names? So I know there's big love for Mara, Obi. I don't know if you've...
Still going, man.
Is it?
Yeah, that's pretty well. I think somebody in the chat was like, oh, Obi, the next trade is Mara long. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm trying to chase all the way up here. It's done. I don't know what the ATR is off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure it's already done multiples of ATR. So let me just take a quick look
Has
here.
to be, because it's not 15%.
Has to be. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. The ATR is 1.84. So let's just take a quick measurement there off of, I guess, well,
1.84%?
No, 1.84 points. So it's like, all right, so yeah, we've done about 3 points. So we're done about 1.5 ATR right there. And yeah, you can look at, the RVOL as well, doing about just over 1.5 RVOL on a 5 period right there when it comes to the 5.
So why wouldn't you short it?
Why wouldn't I short it? Because it's not showing any signs of weakness.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wonder if sometimes you look at the reverse of it. Like it's extended double its RVOL almost?
Yeah, I mean, sure. I think that you can take a look at that. But again, at the same time, that's just an arbitrary thing. Like things can go up 100, 200%.
Easily.
But if the chart, again, the chart and the tape and the price action is not really showing you any weakness, then it just says that maybe buyers are still in charge. So
there has to be some
why
confluence.
Yeah, there has to be some confluence, some stack there of different factors. You can't just be like, oh, it's up 2 ATR, it's doing RVOL, so I'm just going to get short. I don't think that's really... I think you need more information, more context, and actual kind of a visual of participants exchanging hands, being like, okay, well, maybe buyers are no longer in charge anymore, and we've taken a distinct turn, and the flow of the tape is distinctly different as well. I think I like to watch for that as well. The relative difference again, right?
All right,
so.
Yeah. No, that's good look. And I think that, calling up more tools like that, you won't see Neil or myself really do that particular too often, sort of measuring the ATR there. So that was a good one, man. We definitely like that. Thanks for showing that. What's up for here? Little quick super chat from Volcan. Look, I've already sort of said what I think he wants to know about Nvidia earnings. So the only thing that I think can slow this down is a negative spin on China. And if that comes from Jensen, then I think that's a problem, right? And so I don't know if he's going to talk like that. He's talked about not fearing any competitors or anything like that. But I got to put an offer here at 950. I can't sit here and keep watching this happen. So I'm just going to put an offer there. If we get back up to 950, 180, I'm taking it. I'm taking an offer here. Too many times. It's been literally bouncing off here for 30 minutes, and now it looks like it wants to go down. So my only fear is that he comes out and says something about some of the restrictions that China's been trying to put on some of their higher-end chips, so on and so forth. Now, they haven't really, turned the gun onto Nvidia yet or anything like that. They've talked about Intel, I think AMD. There's just been a whole bunch of different ideas around Nvidia and some of these chips being protectionist properties. So I believe they should be. Like, I think what's developed here, I mean, all you're doing is giving China all this power again by selling them all the chips, but it's a free market, so I understand why you'd want to do that. So for me, if Jensen starts talking about possible headwinds into China, then the stock loses 20% easily. But if that doesn't happen, we know what their order book looks like, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be talking about orders for Blackwell, and Blackwell's their new chip. They haven't got those out yet, but that's what people are lining up for. So if they can get a positive order book for Blackwell, talk about that, which we already know it's there, potentially guide higher on that, and still talk about demand for their H100 chip, then I really think Nvidia, I've already said how it looks on a chart. You can join me tonight, tomorrow, Wednesday, when we will be with many different traders. I'll talk to them all about NVIDIA, trust me. I'll ask Michael Nauss tonight about it. But I already asked him it on Friday, and he agreed with me that it's looking like one of the best charts. Danielle Shea, the same thing. So you're starting to break out the top. How many names, like, remember when Amazon was trying to break out the tops? Well, eventually it did. Now it's at 190, whatever it is. Okay, Google, the same thing, breaking out some of those tops. Apple still needs to do that, but NVIDIA, I mean, come on. There's lots of opportunity here. I don't think it's performed. I mean, you mentioned, this is when I got to have Danielle Shannon. Maybe if I look at a different charting platform, I'll be able to see. But I'm not sure they performed overly well every single earnings call, their last 6 or 7. So I think that would be interesting to see. On that note, we'll find out the implied moves of those as well heading into tomorrow, or heading into the 22nd, which is Wednesday night. Let's look at what's happening tonight. So look at this. You want to talk about implied moves? So we have Palo Alto tonight, the biggest name going. So that's a 10% implied move. It got clocked last time. We bought more shares on that move down 28%. It's almost closed the gap back up to where it hit the 50 period at 320. It's back to that gap. So that's already filled, but not the whole 30%. Then we have Trip.com. I mean, another big one there, 34 coming through their aftermarket close. Li Auto we already had today. There's Zoom, 8% implied move for Zoom. There's your Wix that we already had today, 11%, but gave you 23. So more to go with that. And then we have a very, very nice looking earnings board that we also have. So let's have a quick look at that. We just wanted to look at the implied moves that were there. But there you go. Anything that I maybe didn't touch on that you're noticing? You talked about XPeng a little bit today.
Yeah, I think, well, I don't know about AutoZone. I think that one's like a, what, the $3,000 ticker.
ZN, yeah.
But again, if you have the, I think AutoZone is maybe AZ or something like that. But yeah, no, if you have the risk for it, yeah, sure, the trade could potentially be there.
Is that what it is? No. Yeah, AZO.
AZO, okay, yeah. It's like $3,000. Yeah, $3,000. So yeah, definitely, if you can manage the risk on that one, sure, potential trade there on earnings day one. But Macy's, I think, is going to be interesting. Again, retail. We saw Walmart last week. We have Target this week as well. Lowe's, again, another retail name. What else do we have there?
That's about it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Actually, Lowe's is interesting because of Home Depot. Home Depot missed.
I mean, LI was pretty decent today, I guess. So maybe XPeng on watch as well for tomorrow. Maybe we're looking for the same thing. Maybe we're looking for something distinctly different. But again, it was a decent trade that we did get a little lucky on this morning. Trip.com, maybe. Zoom as well, of course. Zoom definitely going to be on watch. Presto, is that the same Presto as like the transportation Presto, or maybe that's something else? I don't know.
I believe something else.
Yeah, it's probably something else.
We can take that off of me, and it's all good.
Yeah, so I think yeah, those are the pretty big ones there. Lowe's, Macy's, XPeng, and Zoom, Palo Alto, of course, and yeah, interesting potential watch on AutoZone as well. So, all right, that's kind of what we'll be watching there, or I'll be watching for earnings for tomorrow. There, what do you got going on? I see that you have. Yeah,
I mean, Bitcoin right now just took out 68,000. I mean, it's been doing it today. So there's the nice move. This is just a 4-hour chart. It goes all the way back to where we were in April 13th, which is the last time we were at 68,000. So you've traveled quite a way, man. I mean, now it's the end of May, not yet, no, almost. May 20th. So it's been about a month and about 5-6 weeks since the last time we were up to here. I was nervous that potentially this top was stopping. That was 67. We danced around it, but it's a nice clean break right there. And if you're just going to go to a 15-minute chart, there it goes. So we just had broke it. What time? 12:30. So 2.5, 3 hours ago. Nice move back up to the upside, taking out 69,000. Then psychological. I mean, that's 70, and then it's, you know, and then you're right back to like. Again, this chart looks, to me, it just looks healthy that these bottoms are getting bought up. I mean, we wicked below, you know, but other than that, I mean, you're going to, it looks like you're going to test highs again on BTC, which, you know, congratulations again for Bitcoin traders. I mean, we're still in Bitcoin. I mean, I don't think there's any reason to sell it. We've talked about holding on to Solana, Cardano. Cardano's, there's a lot of supply there. I understand that.
You like Dogecoin?
No.
Insta no?
No, I don't. It's not that I don't like it. So I've always said this. My biggest two holdings are going to be Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, I just think, but that's the same way as I talk about like what are my two largest, and it's just because more conservative nature. Turning 70 next year, I feel like I don't want to be in too many risk assets, but I'm in Bitcoin and Ethereum the most, and then the little ones that we like, they're a little bit of Ripple, some Solana, some
nice.
Cardano.
Yeah, I got some Ripple as well.
I'm forgetting a major one that I'm in as well, but there's another one there. Another one for NFTs. That was Solana, and then there was another one. Anyway, Cardano. Yeah, no, I'm not forgetting that one. Don't worry. But you know what a good trading tool is. I'm also in IBIT. So
yes.
From one thing to another here, we bought this down here like 34 bucks. I think it was this little move down. We've since traveled around. It's not like this has been such an amazing call, but it's starting to hold out. I really think IBIT is such a great trading tool, man. Over 20 million shares done today. Always trades well. Really low fees. To me, this is part of the reason why I could see Coinbase not being the ultimate winner for the super long term. I mean, obviously, it can go both ways. So as the ETF gets approved, I could see a lot more trading being done off exchange, which would be less for Coinbase. But then the thing is that Coinbase is also custodying a lot of these. I might just hit, Nvidia's now not breaking 950.30. Coinbase is also where they're trading. So like you go in and buy Ethereum, you buy IBIT, for example, and I have to double check, but I'm pretty sure. They're then going into Coinbase and buying Bitcoin on your behalf and basically putting it into IBIT so that they can get that one-to-one, so to be hedged, so properly hedged for the price. So that to me is a win for Coinbase. So I don't know what to think, but it hasn't been really performing that well. Coinbase over the last little while, but you did base out there at two bills right here. I just heard something in my ear, and it was about a stock that we're looking at. Apple, AMD, Meta, no, nothing like that. Apparently Sprout Social, SPT, they're looking to take private. So I don't know, this should halt on news like that. It's a nice move up, but then a nice pullback.
All right,
so
that's something.
Up 10, I'm surprised. Are the halts working today? Honestly, this should have halted, right? 31 up to, it might have just hit the halt band and stopped.
Enough.
Wow, look out for this name to get back up there and halt, right there.
I think just going back to that crypto talk there, I was wondering what Ethereum's doing. I was talking to Wayne about this, I think last week as well. Some interesting news. Some ancient wallets. I don't know if you heard this.
They found my wallet?
Well, maybe. Some ancient wallets moving their Ethereum into Coinbase exchange, millions of dollars worth. Ones that have been inactive for quite a while, so they're putting it on an exchange where they can kind of potentially deal with it, maybe sell some off. I have no idea, but that happened a couple of weeks ago. And again, I was wondering what Ethereum might be doing off of that. But
let's get to that in a second because Adara has something potentially on this. I don't know.
Yeah, so just some details to kind of summarize that move in Sprout. Not seeing this, isn't really circulating on Twitter. I found this through news sources, but basically this one trading a little bit higher here, up about 9% for Sprout Social SPT. Reuters reporting that the company's founders are in talks to take it private. I think notably here is going to be the short float. It's about 15%, so keep an eye on SPT. If I see any other news or clarification, I'll let you guys know.
Yeah, Amazon. We were just talking about Amazon there. I mean, some of the retail names have been in trouble a little bit, but it's been like really the apparel. Like Nike did the downside. We saw Under Armour get hit. We have Ralph Lauren coming this week. Oh, yeah. We have, okay, here we go. Yes, hallelujah. It's a hot dog cannon kind of day again, right there as Nvidia takes out that high. Now I promise, no more outs until I change my mind. But there it is, another move upside there. Obi, that's a $5 winner. So, I mean, we're in that again. We just got out at 50.80. It's the same one. It's not like we're putting on multiple $5 winners. We're just taking pieces out. Now I have about 25%. I just want to say I must really look like shit because, like, people, I know, Ramin. So I said, like, oh, man, this better go up because I'm turning 70 next year.
Huh.
And then now people are in the chat like, man, damn. Like 70, like that's But like I didn't realize that was still a possibility. People are like, man, did I lose my hearing? Did I just hear him say that? So no, I'm only 59. No, well maybe. I always make fun of how old Neil is.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
old.
I
That man is
don't
old.
want to. Okay, all right. Aren't you guys the same age?
Shut up, Obi.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. All right. So let.
Yeah. I thought you guys were high school friends. Yeah, yeah.
Very good, Obi. I'm really glad that
Same
you've been
kinda-
paying attention.
Oh yeah, I pay
That's
attention.
perfect, man. I really like that. I really like that. Yeah, of course, man. Thank you. We've been talking about. I'm just throwing shade. That's why I throw shade at Neil. Like that's the whole point.
Yeah.
It's like a who's on first, who's on second, third, all that kind of stuff.
Boys.
I try, man. I try.
Yeah.
You know, I try around here. But all right, so right now, Nvidia, Baba, Apple. Let's get into something else. What's DraftKings doing? I mean, I don't know. I saw shout out to Xander Schauffele from the PGA yesterday, but DraftKings is all over the place, man. I mean, I like this name. They've really started to sort of condense in here. I like the 45 break. We're not there yet.
All right.
But what about 44.50 days high? Up right now, 44.50. Nice move back up to the upside. So 44.50, that could be a really good break for DraftKings into 44.25, 44.15. I mean, I like this name, DraftKings, and I actually sold this in my own account, sold the majority of it, and I think it was like 38, 39. Like I think it was into here actually a long something time ago. Yeah, so we made this high, and I didn't get out for sure. Back in there in the beginning of the year, then out right in this area when we were all like, oh my God, the market is going to drop down at the beginning of January. And then absolutely opposite happened. We had 2 or 3 straight down days in January. Do you remember that? In the first couple days in January, we started off like the first 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, a bit
it
of
was
a sell-off,
down, and then
yeah.
everyone's like, okay, here we go.
Here's the
And then
top.
that was the buy the dip opportunity that we all missed, I guess.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
DraftKings, I really like DraftKings down here. VWAP could be a good short there for Google. So you're still in Intel. I know it doesn't show up, but you're in Intel. And look,
Looking for a potential ad. I don't know.
we finally will give props to that out there for Nvidia, because you know what? No matter how stubborn you can be, Obi, as a trader,
Yeah.
like you got to get some out.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's what was. We were going to go to Adara,
That's
but that's what I heard in my ear. Vinfast was moving around, so
Okay.
there goes Vinfast up 25% over to Adara.
This part of the show is brought to you by Vinfast. Are you ready for the electric vehicle that's taking Vietnam by storm? Vinfast VF3 Mini SUV just shattered records with a mind-blowing 27,649 pre-orders in just 66 hours. This affordable EV cutie, priced from only $9,248, has spiked a social media frenzy across the country. But that's not all. VinFast pioneered a revolutionary online sales approach, with over half the orders placed through e-commerce platforms and influencer live streams. The VF3 is truly Vietnam's national car, offering an unbeatable warranty and making EV ownership a reality for more families. Get ready to see these zippy mini SUVs hit the streets in August 2024.
All right, so there's something, I put something in the chat. Like, nobody responds to me ever pretty much in the chats, so I don't know. Like, people can put swoopy poopy and people will respond to it, but like, what I put in there, and I said, I'll show you examples.
All right.
But no, I said before, I said, did Brendan just say that that car was a cutie when he read that in the morning? And then apparently, yes, that is part of it. So I just heard it from Adara. What a cute car that VinFast is. Right there. It sure is a cutie. Sure is a cutie. But yeah, so we did hear that. So I am not going as deaf as potentially I look like I may be going. So, oh, that's what I want to talk about. The highly levered Bitcoin product that is MSTR.
Oh boy, look at that.
Look, wow, let's go
1,000
Nvidia.
bounce? Is that a 1,000 bounce on the daily? Is that it?
Right here.
A little bit lower, a little bit lower.
Man, MSTR is one cutie of a stock. I mean, as this one
yeah.
continues to
Damn.
go up to the upside, right here. Here, something about Ethereum. All right, so apparently it's just, it's getting
wow,
close
look at
to,
that.
yeah, it's
We
getting,
just talked about this.
yeah, it's getting close to approval, they think, on Ethereum ETF. So there goes Ethereum right now up to the upside. This is ETHE. Of course, this is the
There goes
the ETF. So
Mara as well.
we'll see if we can get it. The parts of Bitcoin also starting to go. Look at Bitcoin starting to go 69 and change. I just bought Ethereum, so I just bought it right here, 26.19. Does it show up there? It doesn't. I'm long. You can see right here, 26.13 on Ethereum. Let me take out a piece if we can get something here at 32. But there it is. Nice little move to the upside. Ethereum starting to go. You heard this news here first on Trader TV Live. Brought to you by your boy, Trader TV Sean. And there it goes right now. Let's go. Here's a quick 30 cents in the money on Ethereum. And we're not even playing around no more, Obi. No, no, no. No kneel, no cry. We got a nice move right here. Nice move to the upside. No kneel, no cry. Boom! Ethereum right now, 50 cents in the money. Look at this one starting to go. We here, Obi. Wow. We here. You want crypto? What's up with that?
Yeah,
this is a huge move to the upside right now. Now almost $1 in the money on Ethereum potential approval, increasing the odds right now on that.
Nice. Yeah, ETH is definitely sending it, Wayne. It's going right now. I think.
Send it. It's now $1 in the money.
All right, let's see. Yeah, pushing up into 33s. So 33s on that strong volume, potential intraday news happening there on the ETH, taking a quick bump of 150 points right there. Nice trade there, Sean. Nice intraday news trade, and you were quite quick with those keys. And again, I think I do have access to pinks there, but I don't know if this specific layout is set up for keys in terms of like gateways and stuff for pink sheets for me. But yeah, nice little trade there as it is pushing into some of these multi-week highs right there. So since the beginning of April, we've made some highs around just underneath 3,300, and now we are pushing up into that level with that news on Ethereum approval coming in closer. So yeah, any of you who have been trading Mara, probably catching wind of that a little bit there. I was like, yeah, I don't know if I want to continue the long here up near these highs, but okay, maybe not as strong of a move there on Mara based off of what Bitcoin and Ethereum just did. But yeah, let's see. Maybe a lot of that move has been priced in with anticipation since the morning. Again, Bitcoin and ETH not really doing this much of or looking like this really until as of right now off of that news. So
let's go to Adair and get more news
right
on
there. So yeah, we'll go to Adair first.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the details on this, so this is just something circulating on Twitter. Eric Balchunas of Bloomberg said that he and James Seyffart, also of Bloomberg, are just increasing their own personal odds, as Bloomberg analysts here, of the spot Ether ETF approval to 75%, up from 25%. They're basically citing that they've heard some chatter, quote unquote chatter, that the SEC could be flipping on their original take here on the Ether ETF. So now they're seeing people, getting more excited because they initially thought there'd be a denial. Now they're seeing the SEC flip. So they're increasing their odds from 25% to 75%, though they are capping those odds at 75% and saying that they're going to be more positive if they see things like filing updates. So again, Eric Balchunas and James Seyffart of Bloomberg just increasing their own personal odds, guys.
What else? What else?
Solid.
Well, we were just talking about MSTR. Wow. We were just talking about all that. And there it goes. We just took $1 on it. Well, I still have 20%. All right, so let's go. Nice move back up to the upside right there, up 20%. And the one thing I got to do is, if you are not watching the market recap show, this is why I say traders stay late. Honestly, I'm done with this. We talked about it. Brian Shannon's trade last week was buy ETHE. We talked about this on the show. Mm-hmm. He talked about it, that it was undervalued because of this potential news not going the right way. Of course they're approving the ETF. There it goes up to the upside. It's also nice that we just talked about our largest holdings being in Ethereum and in Bitcoin. As there we go, man, 69, puff, puff, pass. We getting high in the crypto universe right now, and I don't know if it's going to stop. What's up, Adara? Oh, okay, good. All right. Sometimes I wonder what's going on over there. She's excited with that. So there it goes. Nice move to the upside there for Ethereum. So There we go. What's up, Rivian Millionaire, talking about how this show has improved. Everything's improving. ETH gas fees are crazy. That's why people are looking at Solana to transfer over with NFTs and build on that. Hey, man, whatever you think of Ethereum, it is the second dog right there. What's happening with all the other ones as we go. By the way,
Money.
952 on Nvidia, $6 in the money. Okay, just real quickly right here. This is what's happening right now. Let's just go over the last 24 hours. Now, I don't know how often this updates, honestly. This is just CoinGecko. There's probably better ones, but I mean, we get the last hour, so it's not going to have this most recent move, I wouldn't think. But right into here right now, some nice moves starting to happen here. Solana back up to 181. Oh, and we didn't even, what the hell are we even doing? All right, what's going on with Mara right now? Because there it is. So Mara back up to highs of day and almost took it out at 2260 again. So there it is. That's probably a break long on Mara. Again, not, hey, where'd my chart go down here? Not the same as that. There it is. What's up to Paul? You are welcome right there, Paul, for that ETH trade. I mean, we just went right over there and smashed it. It's now PL1. One trade.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's all you need.
That is what you
sometimes
need.
just
Yeah,
need
you
that
got to have
one
confidence. You
good
got to
trade,
go over
yeah.
there. You got to know what you're smashing and just smash, pass, you know? And on that, I'll pass it back over to you, Robbie.
All right, yeah, no, I guess, I don't know, I'm just,
That one's worth a smash, no?
Yeah, of course, yeah, 100%. Like
Swipe
intraday
right or left,
news,
whatever it is.
Intraday news, I think, is one of the best catalysts in the market. Now, again, I wasn't necessarily prepared for that one. They're on the ETHE, but again, I'm patiently kind of waiting to see if any trades will show up there. But yeah, no, speaking about that one good trade, I think I already had my one good trade this morning. Shout out to Mr. Bellafiore there. Yeah, one good trade on LI Auto in the morning session, and kind of just walked away from that one after it made that capitulatory move there. So we can kind of talk about that again. But yeah, no, it's still kind of, look, it's still holding that low. So we got short in the morning just underneath some of these opening prices there. Strong volume candle, distinct tape action right there, covered most of the move underneath that 21. And you can see that it did a nice reversion back to VWAP there and still holding as of right now. Again, a name on SSR. So yeah, I was looking for a potential push there on the Amazon. And yeah, the Amazon not really working out right now, flushing back to the downside there, potentially low of day maybe coming in here as it is holding trend on the 15-minute here. So I am looking at it on a 3-minute, but if you do pull it up on a 15-minute, you can see that very distinct trend to the downside here. So definitely not really looking like a long for me just as of yet. I'm still waiting for Intel to kind of get back up. I am just a tad bit short here, just above this 32 mark. You can see the arrow right there. So maybe potentially if it can get back into that VWAP. Now again, only about 30 minutes left on the day, so I don't know how much further this can go. It might just chop around and close in and around Intel, in and around some of these prices. So I have no idea. But yeah, a little flush coming in there on the Amazon, opening price being 184.34. So we already broke back below that opening price and now potentially making or headed towards fresh lows there. If we pull back off of this, off of these highs on the NQ, maybe that can give us that tailwind to flush us a little bit further to the downside. But I have no idea. With only about less than 30 minutes left until the close, I don't know if there's going to be another trade for me there, Sean. I think again, I want to preserve the mental. We've taken our one good trade that we just talked about in the morning on LI Auto. So that's I think one a day is not.
Yeah, no, and I want to say to everybody, like, that's the difference where you have to find what you're comfortable doing. You know, like I hear that news and I am into that Ethereum.
Yeah, right away.
You know, for you, it's not your type of trade, probably not Neil's.
My keys for pinks are not set up on this keyboard, I'll tell you that. Yeah.
Right, and that would be another thing. But even you didn't initially think of like, let's go into Coinbase. Like you're in your,
exactly.
You're in your.
I mean, I pulled up Mara because it's been running, but you're right. I could have taken a look at Coinbase. Yeah, exactly. Boom. I mean, looking similar to Mara, so.
Who knows?
I don't know if I would punch highs, but it
anyways, we are almost now, we're $5 in the money on Nvidia, we're $3 in the money on this Ethereum, and we've got a dare at the desk, at the screen somewhere.
Let's take a look at some of these names that were making big moves that we haven't really talked about as much. And there are some big names here on this list today, including Qualcomm. Not one, but two nice catalysts for this one, sending it up over 2% for QCOM. Microsoft unveiling its new devices, which are powered by Qualcomm chips. We also have Dell revealing some AI PCs with Qualcomm chips at its own event. So a couple of positive catalysts bringing QCOM to the upside. We also have JP Morgan. This one initially gapped up, then fell to the downside. JPM trading lower amidst some updates at its Investors Day event. Especially worth noting that the CEO, Jamie Dimon here, A, hinting that he's going to be retiring sooner than expected, and B, suggesting that the company is not going to be doing a ton of share buybacks with the current stock prices. So bit of downside move there for JPM. Last but not least, Netflix, NFLX up over 3%. Positive analyst note from Wedbush. They kept their rating the same. They kept their $725 price target, but they said they do continue to see high growth margins for ad revenue. So nice look here for NFLX to end the day here, guys.
I mean, BTC is also going. We just took another piece out here. Look what's happening exactly with everything here. So ETH, Ethereum, starting to go. So, hashtag all that kind of stuff. We'll get this out to you. But there it is. We just took some out at 29. I only have 10% left. So 27, wow. 27.30, 28, 29. Wild times.
Great trade, man.
Over here right now. But what's pulling back though? The futures into this last half hour. So we're gonna have to be careful now. We've already talked about our outs, our ins, and all that kind of stuff. So let's just try to watch out. We just broke back down below. We don't have as many shares. We talked about having 30%, then we took that out. So we're like now a little bit higher, about 25% left of this trade. And I'm just debating taking a piece out, maybe right here, right now, and then just trying to hold the, whoops. See what happened? I put an offer and the thing just went down 25 cents. I thought I got filled, but I did not. Let's see if now we can sort of get back to the upside there as we trick it. There it is. Okay, we got it anyways. You see what just happens there? We put the offer in, it drops down 25 cents. Yeah. Then I just leave it and it comes right back up. All right, so there it is. There's the out. I mean, at least everything we're talking about actually makes sense when we show it to you there live. But there's the last. We just got another piece out right there. So now we're getting lighter and lighter and lighter. About 20% left there on this. As we're kind of counting our blessings a little bit there, because that Ethereum was, I don't want to say it's lucky to come through. I mean, every day there's news stories that break. Whether or not it's that sprout, that SPT that started going to the upside that I think you could buy. Did it pull back? How much did it pull back? Okay, back into VWAP. That's a little strange. On a take private talk there. So that's something you could have buy. There's Mara continuing going to the upside. You're still in Intel. I'm still in Apple. We've still got Nvidia. And then Alibaba's not doing a whole heck of a lot. Did DraftKings do anything? We just talked about that. I don't think DraftKings do anything on Bitcoin news. You know what was talking about having a whole crap ton of Bitcoin was Reddit.
Really?
Yeah, so I don't know if you've read it and forget it about that story, but there was a story there. Breaking through 61, yeah, they didn't have much reaction to that. But look at Bitcoin.
Oh yeah.
Oh my.
70K coming up right now.
Hello, wake up America. Bitcoin is making near all-time highs. And it looks like it wants to take out 70 bucks to get 70 bucks. I wish. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Funny thing is, 10 years ago,
yeah, it was there.
Actually
like, I remember Bitcoin at $6. Yeah, just not the best decisions back then. Let's see.
Fox News was
also
like all over this Ethereum news story as well.
Yeah,
so
pretty wild.
It's just the spot ETFs apparently, and Adara's already brought this story, but spot ETFs are apparently being developed. So if people are doing that right now on their blockchain or on their getting ready to file for those. We had 13 applications are approved for Bitcoin, including GBTC, IBIT, HODL, different names like that. So you'll be seeing, you'll start seeing EBIT or something like that that would be eBitcoin. I don't know what it'd be for Ethereum. But anyways, you'll start to see some names like that. So that's interesting. Apparently this is all happening right in front of us. So we are long right now. If you're just wondering about the developing story, it's Bitcoin, it's crypto, and it is fantastic today. Huge move to the upside on crypto, breaking through 68, now to 69. And then the most recent news here is Ethereum starting to go up 24% on the ETF side. And it's the spot price for Ethereum right now. I'll look that up. But right now we do have Bitcoin And here's the chart for BTC starting to get back up. We were just talking about it, Obi.
Yeah.
Let it load. When it was at 68 there, that's a daily chart, so let's just go over to a 1 hour. Boom. We were just talking about it breaking 68. And there's the move up to 69 and change. So I'll go over. Can I just change this to, let me see if I can just change this to ETHE and see if that will work. ETH. Yeah, okay. So here goes Ethereum. So let's get spot, 34. So 34 right now for Ethereum, and we're starting to go. So let's just get a 1 minute chart up for Ethereum. There it goes, yeah. So huge move up for ETHE, up 11% on the coin, but up 25% right now on the ETF, which is what we're long right now. There it is right there, Ethereum starting to get back up, 28.80. We just punched long. We even missed the move. The move was 25.26, but like I said, fortune favors the bold, and we punched long and never looked back. So good trade there, putting us back into the pocket. But what's come back in is Nvidia, so we're going to have to deal with this.
Yeah, for sure. I think, again, with only about 20 minutes left for the close, I'm just kind of patiently waiting, looking for potential places. I did kind of take a little bit more of the intel there at this lower high, just underneath this 32.10, as the futures kind of took a bit of a pullback there. I was looking for a potential long there on Amazon, didn't really set up, so I was like, all right, whatever. With only about 20 minutes left, I don't really want to push into that too aggressively. So yeah, that might not be a trade at all today, or maybe not even till tomorrow, who knows. But again, I'm sure a lot on the table for tomorrow, as we just mentioned, with again, starting up another week in earnings season, and some interesting names to be reporting this week. Again, Nvidia being one of the biggest ones, and Nvidia all day pretty much shopping and churning in and around that 950. And you guys have seen Sean take some nice moves off of that, $5 winners, multiple point winners off of the consolidation low on Nvidia, as it kind of makes. I guess it's been making relatively higher lows into that high in and around, what is that, 952-ish level on Nvidia. So maybe we're just setting up, printing a nice little flag at the beginning of the week to work with going forward into earnings. Again, I think it's what after hours on Wednesday is the Nvidia earnings report. And again, if you guys have been watching any of the past earnings reports, you can see how volatile the name has been on those. So a lot of anticipation, a lot of interest in the name. Of course, it is one of the market leaders as of right now. Again, leading a lot of these market moves here, and especially the tech sector, of course, right? So AI. And AI definitely a strong theme of this year and last year as well. And they are the forefront of producing AI infrastructure as of right now. So yeah, definitely a lot of interest in those. And you were talking about some of the chips coming up potentially. So yeah, let's see what kind of numbers they put out on Wednesday. We could get a little bit of a gap in the markets as well, right? As we've been seeing.
I mean, I think if you're a market, you trade the markets like we do, I mean, that's going to be really important for many different names.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so that was pretty good to sniff out some of this. And again, we didn't really do the greatest job, because then that would be flat. But I'm still fine with holding this Nvidia position, but the market's come back down. And I just want to say, I'm not going to let this go too much through VWAP. So if we break 946 now, I was giving it to 945, some of these bottoms into there, and not really we were respecting VWAP. That's literally where we were getting long. But we were going to get out. It didn't wick through 945, but we were going to use 945 as our out. Give it at least $1 off VWAP, but not anymore. So I'm going to take another bid. Did I get filled yet? No, 947. Getting close. We're at 947.50. It stopped at 948. So I thought if we could get some love kind of in the middle here, and again, it's pushing in. So it's not, I don't think that this is like a definite trade for anybody. It's 342. The imbalances are going to drop in 7 minutes. And if they're red, the imbalances come red, then obviously Nvidia could flush $4 or $5 almost instantaneously. So I'm going to put a stop through 946, basically 946.50 or so. Like that view up is right there at 946. So I don't even really want to see this. What is that wick? That's 945.50. Not too far. So we'll take another bid here. We did get out. We only have 20% left, so let's get some more. But yeah, 947.50 would be it, and then watching out for this kind of a break. Now VWAP's all the way up. Before it was down here at 946. Now it's at almost 947, 946.60. So we're going to wait for that one as it's coming in, and here it is as well on e-signal. So that's 946, the same level. So we're coming into a level right now where we're going to buy some Nvidia and give it one more shot. But Nvidia pulling back in, Ethereum pulling back in. We only have 10% left on this one. Getting some out there was huge. Most of them out like around 27s for about that dollar, and then that was $2 and then $3, or I guess $2.70, but it's pulling back. So, all right, now my only focus is really Nvidia. So let's see if it gets back up to the upside and hope those imbalances just come up. So AMD just threw up, says Brad Gober.
Oh, damn.
What's your Intel doing?
Intel's holding as of right now. Yeah, thanks for reminding me. We are approaching imbalances quite soon, just in about just under 6 minutes there. But yeah, I was looking at AMD, kind of a missed trade there, Sean. We were talking about that 168, and it double tops 168 today. So I was like, damn, I definitely missed out on that one. So if I was looking for a trade, I was not looking close enough, as that 168 shows up once again, and sellers are very, I guess, clear in and around that 168 on AMD here. So let me just pull it up so we can take a look at what we're talking about. Oh boy, look at that. Yeah, it's kind of aggressive selling coming in with increasing volume as well. If I can pull this, yeah, okay, cool, yeah, right there, bang. So 168 holding as of right now, very clear resistance here in that area over the past few days, right? Boom, right there on a catalyst again, and again, day 2 of that catalyst, can't really get above that 168. So let's see what we got in store. Maybe you can do more of the range, but yeah, a little bit of a multi-day range with lows that are kind of building up into this 168 half level here on the AMD. So interesting look there. Yeah, thanks for bringing that to my attention. Definitely a miss trade on my part when it comes to AMD there. But yeah, people talking about PanW in the chat. So yeah, let's take a look at that. I know that one has earnings today as well after the close. So yeah, let's take a quick look at and see what that has been up to today. PanW, a little bit of a trend up, holding view up off of the morning session there. So longer time frame. Let's go to the hourly right there. Take off the VWAP. And okay, so yeah, a little bit of a consolidation after a very strong day last Wednesday. Okay, hello. So a bigger picture uptrend, it would seem, after this earnings flush that we had in February. And yeah, so last earnings, a bit of a flush, made a bit of a hold here, maybe some support at that 260 level, and then we kind of slowly trickled right back up into some of these highs here at that 330, 328. Let me get that specific, 327.58 there on PanW, Palo Alto. So with these earnings coming out tonight, let's see if we get a similar reaction to what we saw last earnings round. A little bit of a flush, well, not a little bit, quite an aggressive flush there, down over about, what is that? Almost 30%. Wow, holy. So yeah, almost 30% of flush there on PanW last earnings. So this earnings, let's see what we do today after hours. Could be interesting. Could be an interesting name to trade coming in tomorrow as well. So yeah, definitely on watch, definitely in play. I don't know if anybody, well, I don't know if anybody here traded it. Let us know in the chat if you guys traded it in, again, earnings eve, but nothing too crazy on my part there when it comes to looking at PanW on earnings eve. But it was a decent trend move there. It would seem it is pushing high of day as of right now, going into earnings. Only about less than 13 minutes left there on for the close for it to come out with any sort of an interesting report. But yeah, I don't really have anything going into the close, only about 13 minutes left, so my day is pretty much done. I'm still holding on to this Intel, maybe looking for that potential push off of the imbals there. If it'll have me, if it'll come in, I have no idea, but let's see that. Let me just fix this wick right there. It is kind of not accurate, so let me just make that so we can, okay, the chart's gonna crash, nice. All right, so, but yeah, so just waiting on that Intel imbalance to potentially come out as of right now. I do got my stops in just in case. We'll see how that kind of goes. Market's pulling back into the close there. ES pulling back into its opening price. The NQ's pulling back to the low of range there. Amazon potentially pushing for some fresh lows there, low day being at that 183.28. So it's a good thing I didn't get long there on Amazon as the trade didn't really come in. Again, market tailwind quite aggressively selling off into the close there. Sean, you got anything on watch going into the close?
Yeah, so I just wanted to, I just got in touch with Mr. Michael Nauss. We will be talking crypto stocks with this news on the market recap show, so stay tuned for that. Me and Michael Nauss and Adara coming through in just a couple minutes on the recap show. We'll review all the sectors. We'll have PanW for you guys, which I'm very excited about. It's definitely a name that I own, Palo Alto, and I'm buying more if it goes down again, but I don't know if it will. The last time I bought more shares was actually on day after, something like that, the earnings day. So we were able to get something in and around here. I think 272 or something for that one. Nice move up. And this is kind of that gap that I talked about, filling that gap already to 310. But the real gap starts where that earnings play was, 368. So we'll see if PanW can get upside. All right, just a couple more a couple more seconds until we get the imbalances. So this is what it's going to look like. We're going to get New York and NASDAQ names on here, but not as of 9:30, as of 3:50. So they're going to get updated in just a couple of seconds. We did miss a dip buy opportunity there in Nvidia, but I'm still going to try it against VWAP. I don't know, maybe the imbalance comes out and it's not as dramatic and we go down and then we just rip back up. But if we do take down VWAP, we're out of that. So here we go with only 4. So it's 349, 58, 59, boom, O's right now. So we do get that Nvidia long as it comes all the way down to the downside right now. So I'm going to have to look to trade out of this one potentially as it's trying to bounce around now. Quite the spread here on Nvidia. So there it goes. Let's see if we get something out. Here it goes, up to 948 and change. I'm going to put an offer there, see if we can get it. 948 teens. We just got that bid at 947.42. So nice little move back up to the upside, but not much happening. And then you asked me about something else that we had. We were covering some Apple. But now with this move going to the downside, I don't know what that is. It's 140 to sell, so not huge. But we didn't get a good enough out there. We should have got some Nvidia on that spike because we got filled. And then it just spiked right back up. So we should have taken that. Well, we're still there to take it. So one more spike through 48 should fill us. I think we're in the teens somewhere. Hopefully one more spike up will get that fill. But for right now, we're waiting for that bottom to fall out. If this triggers us through 946.50, we're out. So that's it. That's my last trade here. There is a market and sell imbalance to the sell side. Yep. So that's starting to send this lower, right? Apple, there goes Apple. Yes, sir. I mean, we don't have much left on Apple, but there it is. There's the move on Apple. Ooh. There's the short that we had.
Nice.
So Apple so far, there boom,
yeah,
all the way down to the downside on that imbalance. So let's see if Nvidia can hold, but right now Apple's not.
Yeah, Intel came out with a sell imbalance as well, so a little lucky on that one. 300K, you can see right here. 340K to sell with a 2.1 mil pair volume right there, and it is kind of slowly ticking to the downside there. Let's see what happens on the pairing there, but yeah, quite an aggressive sell-off there on Apple, breaking that consolidation low that we've been making all day. So I was like, yeah, when is Apple going to break down? Or you're still short? Absolutely beautiful, yeah. Nice little all day or most of the day hold there on Apple by Sean, just underneath that 192. I was a little stingy. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do it until it gets above 192 and gives me a little bit more of a range to get short. But you know, it is what it is. The trade does come in and it comes into fruition just with that sell imbalance. So that is quite beautiful indeed. Let's see if this 32 can break on Intel off of the sell imbalance there. With the pairing coming in just in about 3 minutes there, Sean. So yeah, there's some nice trading happening today.
Yeah, it's been a good. Yeah, it's been a really good trade nice today. Okay, so this is about to lose though. Our last position here on Nvidia. So we just put an offer and it missed us again. Like we were at 948. And we didn't get that. GameStop moving around right now. Is there an imbalance on this? Look at GameStop, huge move right now into the close. Wow, taking out 20 and 21.80. Hello, what's going on with AMC as well? AMC, similar move, man. Big moves into the close on these two stocks. So AMC starting to go, GameStop, so that's the high of the day. So the high of the day, 480. So you might want to look at that. So there goes NVIDIA, our last little drop down there. We'll be positive on NVIDIA, but that's the last little drop. We just got taken out. Oh man, did we just get taken out maybe a little bit incorrectly there? Well, it broke through, but let's see if, actually want to get a little longer on this. Just in case that was that flush, let me put the stop now at 945. 99. I mean, it looks like we may get that out if it drops back into that, but I want to get back in there in case that was just like a little VWAP flush there. I don't know. It's funny that the candle that I got stopped out at is actually a green candle. So let's now see if this can go back up to the upside. Potentially not. Just back in it really small to see if it does want to climb back up there. It doesn't look like it wants to. Ethereum trying to hold out. Apple probably, no, actually, I was going to say Apple's still probably going, but doesn't look like it. We'll actually play that bottom there and get out of Apple for a 190, 180, 190.80. Okay, I mean, that was $1. We didn't necessarily mean for that to happen. But there it goes all the way back in. And like we said, just kind of playing a little bit of the tape there and a little bit of movement to the downside. When you sort of start to watch it, you get those big red candles on the imbalance. So that's sort of what held that. And it looks like this is not going to hold, as there goes NVIDIA. We just took one last shot here in case it wanted to run back to 950, but it doesn't. So 950, right? But there it goes, dropping back through 946. We actually get really no slippage on that. So far, so good there. Not really worth getting back into this, into the close. So we did really well, and then we slipped up there at the end by trading it too aggressively. But GME is still seeing new highs. All right, what's up with that?
Okay,
Does anybody know anything about this? Like, that's a huge move. And by the way, Nvidia just stops us out and then rips up $1. So GameStop's still going, guys. GameStop, big move.
Wow. Yeah. No. Definitely. Kind of a that's quite aggressive there, pushing into the end of the day there on GME, and I guess a lot of other names as well. I heard from the back maybe NVAX moving as well. But yeah, nice little squeeze end of day.
Yeah.
I think people were looking for a
that?
full-on breakdown, maybe potentially underneath that 20, and maybe catching some players offside off of that not happening, failing to follow through, I guess. You talked about that 20 level being a little interesting earlier, and yeah, okay, so there comes the pairing event right there at the 55. What has Intel done? Intel is pretty much just came right back up. That 32 couldn't really break as of right now, so I'm probably going to get out of this one very, very soon, as it didn't really crack day low. But yeah, if you look at the futures are kind of pushing towards their lows there. Let me just take a quick look at this one right here. Wow, NVAX right through 1478. So yeah, that pressure kind of coming in across the board. Maybe AMC is going to. Wow. Take a look at AMC. AMC
Yep.
right back at $5 right there, and yeah, GME really kind of pushing there. Look at that volume coming in. So yeah, a little bit of a squeezer at the end of the day. Should be interesting. Back in action today, or back in action this week after a little bit of a failure to follow through, it would seem, of that $20 mark. Now, why did we call out that 20? We can take a look at the hourly. You can see that a little bit of a gap up and push on that day one or day two move right there after it kind of it wound up and held above that 20. So yeah, failure to follow through below 20. Definitely looking like some shorts are kind of getting out of position there with that rip up and squeeze going into the close there, Sean. Only about three minutes left.
Yeah, there's not much more. I got to actually get over there to my desk at some point. We're still in this Nvidia a little bit. Let's see if it can try to work. I was trying to watch out for Apple there. We did get out of Alibaba, which was a good one. Not at the very bottom or anything like that, but at the very top, but we got a good price there for Alibaba as that's trying to go. And then we actually traded a little bit of Meta here, which was good, but Meta pretty weak on the day. Let's look for Meta to break tomorrow. We're positive on Meta, but it could break below this 468. So that's going to be a level right there. I was just waiting to see if Nvidia wanted to do something down here. I don't think it does, man. 946. I'm still trying to chase this name. We're long right here at 946 flat. It just ripped up. I was waiting for 946.80s. Maybe we get a little bit of a push here in the last second, but either way, I got to get back over there. That 948 and maybe a nice little bump up here at the end of the day. I'm still pretty positive about this name. Good name for us today. It was on the stick. It'll be on there tomorrow, I'm sure. For some, I'm not sure, but some of those levels I think will be there for us to trade tomorrow. Come on, Nvidia, just get back over this, and then we'll get going. So only a couple more minutes to go here as we're getting into the close, and then big earnings coming from Palo Alto and Zoom is on many traders' minds.
Yeah, I got out of that Intel again. It's kind of just chopping and churning in that range. Nothing really. About a 5 to 7 penny chop here in and around this 32. We did get down to what is it? 89s, 80. Sorry, 96s, 97s, but couldn't really follow through there and pushed right back up. And I'm pretty sure the imbalance got paired because it has disappeared from my list here as some of the top names right now being, I guess, JetBlue and SQs, TLTs. So it's like nothing too crazy. Oh, there's that Kraken, that CRKN once again there, Sean. So yeah, as Sean gets up to get ready for the market recap there, let us know in the chat what tickers have you guys been trading? Did you guys get a piece of that GME, AMC, any of those meme stonk moves into the close here? When did that move actually come in? Let's take a quick look at that one here. So the first volume, let's go to 1 minute so we can be a little bit more precise there. So nice little breakout of this end of day consolidation 2050. You can see the volume that comes in right there as that 2050 level breaks. So intraday consolidation or half after 12 o'clock consolidation. You can see that there was a little bit of a wick low there. We broke down. It started to fade as well quite aggressively off of that 20 half. Again, people in anticipation potentially for that 20 breakdown there. Nice little pop and fade though off of the morning session. So if you are sitting short off of that, you were maybe potentially sweating here as we did reclaim those levels in the past few minutes there. And I do got to get this countdown timer on in about 5 seconds. But yeah, GME maybe potentially looking for a move in the after hours and the pre-market session there. All right, so there's at the bell with only 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Thank you. So, all right. So what a day it's been with a lot of opportunity. Again, we talk about that morning move, quite an aggressive, strong move off of the open, but consolidating for majority of the day there. So if you do have range in your playbook, you might have been playing both pieces of the move there, the drive and the range, and yeah, there goes Intel kind of pushing up towards its high. So it's a good thing I got out of that one. But yeah, no, some crazy moves. ETH, again, we saw Sean with a great intraday news trade on ETHE, the pink sheets for that. And again, a lot of the crypto names running all day. We saw what Coinbase did. We saw what MSTR did. We saw what Mara and Riot did all day today. So definitely a lot of opportunities. And I was also looking at Wix as well. And oh boy, Wix never really gave up its gains there. You can see that it pretty much consolidated and held in and around its highs there for the most of the day. So it wasn't really. I was looking for the fade back down into VWAP. Didn't really come in. So very strong sentiment there on Wix, holding near day highs, well within the upper quartile of its opening range or the morning momentum there on Wix. So maybe an interesting day two to come in there for Wix.com. Very interesting stuff there. People talking about AMC. Yeah, I know AMC. AMC is moving. GME is moving. Again, going into the close there. But soon enough, we will have earnings from none other than PanW and Zoom. So are they ready there at the desk for us? Okay, so without any further ado, I will pass it over to Darren and Sean for the market recap. Have a good day, guys. Take care. Don't go anywhere. Show's on.
All right, here we go. Thank you, Obi. It is your market recap show. And yeah, we've been ready for this earnings to kick off here on a Monday. I mean, what an exciting day it's been so far here today. We had some crazy NVIDIA moves happening. Now we'll wait for PanW. We'll get some Palo Alto in the building. And then after that, we'll look for some Zoom. MSOS, some of the marijuana names were downside today. That's not a good look for them. Wheat upside, gas upside, SMH, some of the semis going to the upside as well. There's SMH right now taking out past highs and looking for that NVIDIA number coming on Wednesday. So a little bit of an opportunity there to trade, but what really moved at the end of the day was Ethereum. I mean, we get that potential talk of a Bitcoin, Ethereum approval into the ETF space, and there it goes. Nice upside move. If you're just going to look at a 1 minute chart, there it goes. I mean, we were able to punch long at 26 and change. Nice move all the way up to 29 before eventually settling in and around that 28.75. Ethereum Grayscale Trust up 24%. That bull in the picture kind of like just giving it the horns right there to the upside as we go. So, all right, we'll wait a dare. We've got PanW news coming through hopefully pretty soon. I remember their last report, I think, came pretty late. I don't know.
This one's supposed to be 4:05 along with Zoom, so we might get 2 earnings reports for the price of 1.
Okay, we'll pay attention to that. And then we'll also talk to Michael Nauss today, who's going to be coming through. You see the trade review with him and Trader Talk. So we talked about Robinhood today, and look what that name did all day. I mean, kind of just went upside. We did get a little bit of a fade early, but then finishing up there at $21 and change, 20 and change, up to 21. Robinhood, finishing at the day's high. So yeah, pretty aggressive day today, needless to say, for some of the names. I mean, we didn't get a huge move for Nvidia today, but it gave us some good opportunities trying to break through some of those levels of 940 and then eventually holding out. Ooh, we went to 948 at the end of the day.
I love that 948 level on Nvidia.
Yeah, well, that's okay, good. We'll talk about that.
obsessed with that
Look at that.
level.
That's right where it was right there, 948 and change. We actually had a dip buy opportunity to 946 at the end of the day and had to cover it to get over here, but it was nice to see a 948 and change close there for Nvidia. I think my number one stock went to the Ethereum Trust after all. But right there, there's that break of 940 that we had written down on the sticky note. That was a big trade to start the day upside for NVDA. Let's just look a quick look at some of these sectors. You tell me when anything comes through there, Adara, for any potential earnings plays that are coming. But yeah, the NASDAQ heading to all-time highs again today, as we'll see the NASDAQ intraday bounce up there on the triple Qs up to 455, creating that brand new all-time high there for the NASDAQ intraday. So even if you zoom it back out, there it is. Intraday or not, we're taking it out, closing, brand new closing high, I guess, as well for the NASDAQ. So I just didn't confirm that, but up 0.69 must be. So there it is, nice move there for NASDAQ, nice close for them as they continue to go higher, led by SMH. I mean, today, NVIDIA, look at the NASDAQ up 0.6, SMH up 2%. And
PanW.
We just talked about it. We just do have PanW now. So let's wait to see what happens with Palo Alto right now. Not a great early look for PanW. So it is now coming back down to coming out to the downside. Just a quick little look right here. $1.32. Okay, so
that adjusted EPS miss is bad.
Okay, so let's have a quick look then. It does look like it's out, but I'm not too worried about this until we get into this like 290, 280 area. So there's PanW. It looks like you have the numbers, Adara.
I do, yeah.
PanW
so
making a move down.
They do have a beat here in terms of their Q3 revenue.
All
so
right.
1.984 billion versus the expected 1.974 billion. So 1.98 versus 1.967, that's going to be a beat. Now, where things get to be a miss is going to be those earnings per share. So they're reporting adjusted EPS for the quarter, 79 cents. The estimate was $1.25. So that's a pretty nasty miss here for earnings per share. It's the main numbers I'm seeing here as well. We're getting some guidance here. We're not seeing any comparisons. Can't see those compare necessarily to the estimates. Okay, so they do have as well these Q3 pre-tax profit, 251.2 million versus 560.7 million estimate. So anything that has to do with profit or earnings per share is going to be a pretty rough miss here.
Yeah, I want to talk about it because Pan is very expensive, right? Its forward PE is 52 right now, so it's not the greatest PE looking forward for Palo Alto, but they're going to the downside and getting hit pretty badly. The expected move on PanW was 9.8%, so you're kind of in the pocket there, just going the wrong way for investors like us. We know Sharif talked about this name earlier as well. He likes it, I like it. I know Neil's in this name as well, so that sucks for all of us. Zoom right now, I don't know, not really moving around too much. I was gonna say not really zooming around, but its expected move right here is 8.
Yeah.
So right now, Palo Alto and Zoom both starting to get to the downside. We've talked to Michael about this before, about relative strength, but right now on earnings, obviously on a 1-minute chart, you crank to the bottom. That's not going to mean anything. Zoom right now down 3.76%. And again, not a great look for Zoom. And I just heard a yikes from Adara. So what does that mean?
Well, this is actually a beat. I was going to say it's like the opposite of a yikes. I think I made weird sounds there. But so, I mean, we could start with their view for Q2, and I think they're in fiscal 2025. So Q2 2025, they expect here $1.223 per share, and then revenue 1.15 billion. But in terms of their EPS and revenue for this quarter, they did beat across the board. $1.35 versus 1.20 expected here for the Q1 EPS. That's going to be a beat. We've also got adjusted net income. That's going to be a beat. 426.3 million versus 378.2 million expected. And here's the revenue: 1.114 billion versus 1.112 billion expected. So slight beat as well. Better numbers than PanW, yeah.
Yeah, I just want to say Zoom. So again, if you're going to compare it to some of its peers, and again, it doesn't really have too many because, you know, what are we using? We're using Google to zoom into conference calls and all that kind of stuff. Or maybe Meta or something with Microsoft, with Azure. Azure's their cloud, with Copilot, so on and so forth. But Zoom, their PE actually isn't horrible. I mean, if you compare it to some of theirs in this space, their CRM 29, SAP 37, Adobe 26, Intuit 30s, and Zoom's only 15. So maybe on the valuation, Zoom isn't so bad right now. Peloton just got a 5-year term loan facility right there, 500 million revolving credit facility, not great there for Peloton, having to take on more debt. So down goes Peloton right now, down into 366, 370. Who's over there? Fabian? What's up, Fabian? If we could show Peloton, there it is. Nice downside move for Peloton. Let me just go over the daily chart. Yeah, so down into that bottom. Watch out for $2. Now down 16 cents for Peloton on that move. Quick check back in on Palo Alto as that's getting hit down into the downside. So, okay, we'll hold out on it. Unless you got anything else about Zoom or PanW.
I don't have any others. I think the main thesis there is Zoom beating across the board. PanW, nice revenue beat, but pretty harsh EPS miss. So market not reacting too kindly to those numbers. We also were supposed to have Trip.com perform what I was seeing, the ETA, and that is going to be 5 p.m., which means we're not going to be able to cover it tonight. But decent expected move there. Not a ton of options volume, though.
All right, good look on that one. Yeah, again, adjusted EPS 120 to 121 to Zoom versus 123. So a good quarter, but not the best in the EPS type of thing. We've been talking about FXI, especially with Michael, who's about ready to come on in just a couple seconds. We're going to get him on. We've already teased it. He's going to talk all about crypto. Man, Michael, I got to give credit to him, but I'm going to wait till he comes on, you know. We'll sort of pump his tires when he's on. But there it is, FXI with a nice move up to $30. We've been looking at FXI for a minute. And again, many guests we've had on, including Michael, including Chris Brecher as well. I think it was Steve, one of Chris's friends that was talking about yin and yang and FXI, so on and so forth. But there is a nice move back up to the upside there, $29. I'm going to talk to Brian about this because for me, although RSI keeps on heading to the upside, I just wonder, we're getting back into summertime here where we've seen a top for FXI come through and heading into, and I know Michael's going to talk about, hey, Sean, don't worry about what season it is if it's coming into political season with the election coming up. But I just wonder if potentially we run out of a bit of steam as China could be a talking point as we have, when's that debate coming? June 20,
Late June, June
late
27th.
June. So I don't know. Again, I'm not sure that either whatever Trump or President Biden talks about China, if that's going to move FXI or some of these. See, Ramin, some of these. How was the sushi, by the way, Ramin? It was good. Okay. All right. Just good. Just good. Just good.
It was
was hoping great. Was hoping great.
Yeah, it existed.
How was yours? You had eggs?
Mine was good. I got salmon eggs Benedict
Ooh,
from
yeah,
Aviva.
yeah. The wife likes that.
Yeah, it was really good. And
You know
then
what that eggs Florentine?
I should have gotten Florentine, but
That's
I
what
wanted
it's
the
called.
salmon.
I thought with the salmon.
Oh, is it? This one was called. They had a different Florentine.
Am I mixing it up?
I got Atlantic salmon one. I don't know. Different restaurants do different things, but it was good. They gave me lots of sides, so I have more to take home. How was yours? You got
What is
aroma.
your favorite breakfast side?
Oh, okay, Sean, coming through with the questions. I like a fruit salad and I like hash browns. These ones came with hash browns and a salad, so.
I like those little hash browns, like the little tater tot hash browns.
Those ones these are.
Oh, those are? Okay. Might have to check that out. All right, so FXI, anyways, nice move. We'll just quickly go over a couple of sectors, and then we'll go over to Michael. So what was bad today? Okay, we talked about some of the marijuana names, but again, those stocks are going to be, pardon the pun, up in smoke until we get better, honestly, better results from the politicians. I mean, we already know that they're trying to get this through, whether or not the DEA or I'm not even sure where this is, like what side of the aisle it's on right now, who's even voting on this. We had positive talk from Joe Biden last week that he would approve something if it was on his desk, I thought. We did have that little spike up right there up to 1048, but look what's happened since then. Is he going to sleep on this bill or not? Oh, we don't need to talk about it. All right, XLF. We did see a nice move up there in the financials as of late. So it's been a nice move, potentially running out of a bit of steam. We did get that news from Jamie Dimon whoa, we really pulled back there. So was this on news? I know there was news about him possibly talking about retirement.
Yeah, so they also said they're not they don't see themselves doing many stock buybacks at the current stock price. So it wasn't like, it was very hand wavy the way he put it. He said,
Right.
we don't think we'll do too many stock buyouts if the stock stays around this price. But yeah, so kind of hand wavy. He's also kind of hand wavy about the succession plan. So even though they actually gapped up a little bit,
Right.
APM just kind of steadily trickled to the downside as that investor day rolled on.
That might be a buy down there. JP Morgan down that much. Look, I have a lot of respect for Jamie Dimon, 100%. But I lost a little bit of respect when it was down into here when he was talking about that there was basically like a financial hurricane on the come, and then that never happened at all. And his stock just managed to march its way higher and higher and higher. So I lost, wasn't seeing clarify what that was all about. I think you got a lot of scares there. Got a lot of people out of some of their positions. So that was a little nerve-wracking there. USO and XLE starting to go up. Oh, Zoom. Remember I talked about their PE on Zoom? Well, Zoom is now up now on the day. So there goes Zoom back up to the upside. Nice. Wow, there goes Zoom. Look at this. Huge move up right there. Touches down to 61. What's going on with Palo Alto? Hopefully, nah. Not the
Those
same
earnings
thing.
were bad. That's the difference. The Zooms were like good.
Yeah.
Palo Altos were.
We always say there's no such, I don't know.
Sorry, yeah, I shouldn't.
Neil
have said
says
either
this.
that.
I was going to disagree with it, but he says there's no such things as bad or good earnings. It's just how the market takes it.
Yeah, I mean, there's worse than expected or better than expected.
You just said Palo Altos are bad earnings. I tend to agree with you.
Yeah, I did. I said that, and I was like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. But I mean, they're earnings that were, for the most part, far below what the market was expecting. So the market took them badly, is I guess what I should have said.
All right, before we go over to Michael Nauss, I have to say one more thing because one of his favorite stocks, GameStop, there at the end of the day. JK, Michael, JK. Look at that move into the close. I know what Michael would say, possibly fade this, but it was a nice move into the close. And again, these stocks, Michael's done a bang-up job on our show over the last, let's just call it month for sure, well before that, highlighting short float opportunities. So GameStop, I think he would even admit, as all of us would, that GameStop with 24% short is part of that bucket. But whether or not that move has already happened, I would say look at the chart. I mean, we started this day at we started the move $15, $16. Basically, you could have got in, ripped all the way to 80 in a pre-market. Looks like the close there on a day, $63 was the high we got before closing at 48 that day. And ever since this big candle, we've sort of just inched our way down. Now, the only thing that I've said positively about GameStop is this $20 level. At some point, chart's got to look good. Michael's going to admit that. AMC as well. Whether or not you like this stock or not, we can zoom in right here. Look at this $4 level all the way back to February. If there's going to be a spot to buy AMC, I think 4 looks okay. I think GameStop looks okay at $20. But let me go ask Michael Nauss right now with Trader Talk. All right, Michael, I was just sort of talking a little tongue-in-cheek there about GameStop, but that was a nice little move there up to the top side. And the one thing that you've been highlighting for us as we continue to go is short float opportunities and names that have held near the highs or continue to hold some of those levels. It looks like both of these names, of course, AMC and GameStop, are kind of the complete opposite of that.
Yeah, and relative strength, I believe, works across all asset classes, all time frames. If there is a name that's going to squeeze, it's going to squeeze and it's going to hold. And I mean, if it's going to squeeze for a long period of time, the shorts that piled into GameStop at the top are probably covering down here. I think that may be what you saw at the end of the day there. Someone saying, okay, I made a whole bunch of money, a nice return in a few days. Let me cover them and get out. You will see this kind of choppy back and forth bit, I think, with these for a while. Everyone's got, go for the GameStop, but everyone's got these things in their sights. They're waiting for that moment that maybe there's a round two. I really don't think it's happening this time. And the reason for that is that the short float's not there. The enthusiasm's not there for it anymore. I think it kind of came and went. I think there's a whole bunch of hedge funds. We actually know Renaissance Capital was buying through this area right here. I wouldn't be shocked if they flip short, and now we're going to get some covering in this zone. So for me, the real move on these is dead, but you're right. Looking for names that didn't fall apart, I think that's the move for sure.
Yeah, and you were on our show, of course, earlier today, and I want to make sure everybody can go check that back out at 8:45, where you highlighted a doozy of a name for us, and that was Robinhood, and it was actually pretty much trending higher all day. We got a little dip down early. Here's Robinhood early on the day here. If I zoom back out, we did have an initial market on open and some of these imbalances that happened early, but still recovering nicely, holding the 200 period and closing at the high of the day. So congratulations, good call out there for Robinhood. And I know that you're not trading it intraday. I still think this has a little bit of room to run. We did get some questions on the show after you had left. Was there an upside target for you at all on Robinhood? I've really liked the name, and I indicated this as well. Part of meme stock, again, crypto trading going to hit this name. So are all these other names going to hit it with transactional volume. So we did get a question. Are you looking for anything more than maybe what we've already gotten on Robinhood? Do you want to talk about that quickly, and then I'll sort of go into crypto with you?
Yeah, sure. So the problem with Robinhood, so again, the synopsis for this was the real winners of this meme stock rally were the hedge funds that I talked about that loaded up early. A lot of them had to file recently. So like Renaissance Capital bought before the squeeze. There's a couple other big hedge funds that bought before the squeeze. That was, they were a winner, but we can't profit off them unless we're a hedge fund investor. So I was looking at Robinhood. Most of these trades, if the animal spirits is back, in the States, a lot of ways they trade the animal spirits when it comes to, Dogecoin or Solana or Shibu or GameStop or AMC, they're all done through Robinhood. So my synopsis was, hey, these guys may profit from all this. So I did get a little bit as it kind of dipped in the morning and then came back through that price right there. So I am long. Now for upside targets, this one actually becomes really hard because if you zoom out here, this is a monthly chart. Really, there's nothing that happened between the fall up here at kind of 37 or so and where we are right now. We're in, new high-ish territory with nothing really that I can see and say, hey, that's a logical level to get to and then to fail. So I'm just more of a trailing stop person on this. If I can get a couple day move, I'm going to take a big chunk of my position off. And then really, I want to hold this one for the long term because if I'm right, and they did make a lot of money from this meme stock craze, I think you're going to see that in future earnings reports. So yeah, it's really hard to say, here's a target. So for me, it's give me something to take my risk off the table, and I'm going to put that in my pocket. And I think I'm going to lock this one away for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I really like Robinhood. There are a lot of potential, and they have more assets under management now as well as of their last earnings call, and it was actually a really good one. So thanks for that sort of suggestion. I just saw your note right here. Do you want to talk crypto, or do you want to talk about the relative weakness potentially you were seeing in the Dow names? Was it the Dow names, or are you talking about Dow Chemical? Because I think you're talking the diamond, right?
Yeah, the Dow Jones Industrial.
Right.
Yeah, we can start with that.
Yeah, so I actually, it's interesting that you point this out because if you come over to the chart, I actually, on one of our podcasts, I gave sort of the would you rather to Brendan, Qs or diamonds, and it's because they were sort of overshot to the downside versus the NASDAQ back, I felt like anyways, mid or so April with bad news from Intel, bad news from Apple, bad news from UNH, which are all big, huge components, of course, of the diamonds. And since then, we've made a move back up to the upside. But your point is interesting. Maybe a little relative underperformance now in the Dow Jones 30 versus the rest of the markets. So what are you seeing here, Michael?
Yeah, so we have this both on the downloaded version and on the web. I'll just show you on the web here, where we have these, I guess they're called spark charts technically up here. So this is, just draws your eye that we have the NASDAQ up 0.5%, we have the S&P 500 flat, and then we have the Dow down 0.5%. So often you look up here and you see roughly the same type of return, give or take any given day. The fact that the Dow fell apart right away and then the NASDAQ and the S&P were up, that gives me a little bit of concern because the Dow, although only 30 stocks and all the problems with the Dow, quite often for institutions, this can be the leadership of, all of the different indices. So it's a quick way to look at saying tech did well today, but the Dow Jones Industrial, which has more, I don't want to call it real economy, but they do things that if you drop it on your foot, it hurts. They were down a little bit today, and that got me just slightly nervous. Now I have the Dow chart up here where you can see not only was it relatively weak, it was relatively weak and closed right on the lows. I'll make this bigger for you guys, but closed right here on the lows, where again, the SPY and even the Qs, had a really good day. And when you start to see divergences like that, it doesn't necessarily mean that's the end of the rally or anything, but it can signal potentially a short-term top. So I actually put on some hedges going into the close where I shorted a little bit of the diamonds, which is the ETF
Yep.
for the Dow, against some long positions that I have just in case. So it was just enough that it kind of piqued my interest and said, well, that's unusual. And after such a big long run we've had right here, it wouldn't be shocking if maybe that's signaling a little bit of a short-term weakness or some consolidation to come over the next coming maybe days or weeks.
So a big thing, and I'm sure you've noted this as well, is I know that your scanner will also, part of your heat maps, you can actually break down the stocks that were getting hit in the diamonds. And I've already sort of done this already on the show here today. Big one there for you to watch out for if you're going to be shorting the DIA and the Dow Jones, of course, JP Morgan today down 4.5%. So one of the biggest holdings in the diamonds there in the Dow Jones, JP Morgan getting hit to the downside, along with Visa and some of those other names. So a little bit of an undercover play there, especially if you weren't super high on financials and wanted to go a little bit short there. So, all right, thanks, Michael. I'm going to pass it over to Adara, who has some good questions for you.
Absolutely.
Hi, Michael. Hope you've had a great afternoon, and thank you so much for being here. I know one of the sectors, one of the areas that's made a ton of moves today was going to be crypto. You had Bitcoin making its moves throughout the day. Then around 3:30, we had that potential increased chance of the Ethereum ETF getting approved, and then Ethereum ran as well. Are there any particular plays or names that you're looking at with regards to this sector right now?
Yeah, so there's first of all, I have IBIT on the screen here, and you're 100% right. There was some news. For me, it's more this technical breakout, this falling wedge or falling channel that we had a breakout on higher than normal volume, which is exactly what you want to see. Looks very strong to me. And as we know, if you zoomed out to a real Bitcoin chart for a long period of time, we're sitting near all-time highs right here. So if this continues to break out and we hit all-time highs, that's very interesting to me. I was actually looking at the commitment of traders data the other day, which shows the net long short position. And there's still a lot of people who are short Bitcoin at these levels. So that could cause a little bit of a squeeze along with everything else. For me, where I went is Coinbase. And I want to talk about my past love, which was actually the crypto miners. But they've been dramatically underperforming in this crypto move. I think it's because the fact that we have they're unprofitable businesses. It's really hard to run a crypto miner. And now that people have ETFs to trade, then it makes sense to why not just buy the ETF as opposed to buying the crypto miners. So, the ETF I think is a totally good way to go, but I really liked this Coinbase kind of declining wedge that was happening right here. And I noticed it was just breaking out of that wedge today. So for me, that becomes a pretty easy trade to make where I'm long right here around, call it 220. I'm wrong if we get under 200. And if crypto breaks all-time highs, I would imagine that Coinbase is going to be breaking the highs right here. So I like structuring the trade like this because I think it very easily gives me a 3 or 4 to 1 risk reward, which means I don't need to risk very much to potentially make a pretty decent return on that one. So that's how I express this this crypto thesis.
Thank you so much for going over those. We're going to have to keep an eye on these, especially with that potential Ethereum ETF approval. Thank you so much for going over that.
Not a problem.
All right, Michael, back to brass tacks again, because honestly, when you nailed, and you just talked about Mara a little bit, I don't want to get off that because there's a lot of people that are interested in these Clean Spark, the Maras, the Riots of this world, was still a short float of 22%. I mean, I have again, shout out to Trade Ideas, man. Get Trader TV 20 right now, get 20% off. I mean, come to my screen. I basically have almost the exact setup as Michael, who created this for me. But that break right there, like that smiley face, you've really taught us to draw those. And I mean, you got one right down here, but it sort of topped out basically back in November, heading into December, and then just took off. Once we completed that little turn, boom, hits the 200 and all the way back up. I'm kind of wondering, and I know you just went over it, but again, I'm just going by people in the chat, and I know we always get these questions live on the air. I love it down here at $14, $15, $16, but that's a hope and a prayer at this point. just with some of this momentum and 21%, 22% right there, I know it's only one day to cover. You taught us to look for a little more than that. But with only a $6 billion market cap right now, I mean, Mara still has a chance here, doesn't it? I think we can get a little bit higher, especially if Bitcoin stays above 70,000, and then we even try to get to that 73. Don't just people flock to Mara just because it's one of those popular names that it's kind of like no matter what happens to GME, AMC will probably get going. Whatever happens to, you know, the banks, they'll all kind of. Is that something that you're looking at with Mara, or are you just going to be Coinbase and then the coins themselves? Are we done with Mara now?
You're right. I do think you're right that they're going to move in sympathy. I think if Bitcoin rallies and if all this stuff breaks out to new highs, I don't think you can be wrong picking anything in the crypto world. But the way I always look at it is what's going to give me the most bang for my buck, right? I trade my personal money. I have a limited amount of capital. And when I break down all the different things I own and sectors I'm in, I have even more limited amount of capital. So part of my job, I find as a trader, is I not only have to be right on the thesis, I have to try to pick the vehicle that I think will do the best. And how I do that personally is relative strength. So if we look at the Mara chart right here, you can see that it is well below, you know, these prior highs of $30 or so. Yes, it has the 21% short float, but again, it's well below these highs. I see it has a lot of resistance overhead. And then let's contrast this with something like MSTR that also has a 22% short float and is up near its highs. So for me, it's just if I'm right on Bitcoin and if I'm right on the stocks that are moving with Bitcoin, I think I need to go where my biggest bang for my money is. And I think that might be Coinbase and then maybe this MicroStrategy. It's just, I think these may be done, but you know, again, could be wrong. It could be a catch-up trade. But for me, I always try to gravitate towards the relative strength.
You know who nailed this? A friend of ours, Brian Shannon. He was on our show last week, and he was talking all about ETHE and the potential that it was a little undervalued, and there was a premium put in that potentially it would not get approved, and then therefore that's where the risk was. But he indicated that today, and it's a huge move up. So shout out to Brian Shannon, as well as Michael Nauss, who's joining us right now. All right, Michael. Anything else? You've indicated a little bit about Carvana in the past. Is there any sort of trades you might want to give us an update on? If not, we can always talk gold. But is there anything right now that you're looking to happen maybe by the end of the week? Because now we're on a Monday. I know you like to look at opportunities, open something on Monday, close on Friday, or not. But something like that, especially heading into month end. Is there anything that's a little interesting for you? I mean, we do have Nvidia on Wednesday.
Yeah, so I have the Carvana chart up here. I still like the look of it, but it's a pretty clear trade in my opinion. Above this kind of 124, 125, I'm interested. As long as it's below this level, I'm not really too interested. But I do like the fact that as GME and AMC continue to kind of crash back down, this one hasn't moved. So 28% short float definitely means people could gravitate to it as well. But in the theme of relative strength, if I am worried that the market could be a little bit choppy or a little bit pulling back over the next week or so, my favorite scan is right here. This is TI Strength. This is an algorithm that I created myself for trade ideas that just ranks stocks by stocks that are just in insane uptrends. And I've noticed a couple things in it. So first, AESI, I like the breakout of this one today on all-time highs. That's an energy stock. If we go to AROC, this is another energy-related stock, and then RRC is another oil, gas, resources type name. So it seems like some of these resource names may be starting to pick up. So I'm going to follow these names, something like RRC is hitting new all-time highs. I'm going to follow these names just to see maybe if the meme stocks and the Doge coins and all of that take a break or are over for a bit, I'm going to then push over to something like an RRC, a more boring name. You did mention gold and silver. I just did want to mention, yes, I'm long these things. I've been pounding the table on them. I did take some profits in them today. Just gold and especially silver just look like a little bit overdone in the short term. I wouldn't be shocked to see a pullback in those names.
I mean, you jumped the gun a little bit there because you know what I was going to ask you, Michael? 2 weeks ago, we had my favorite sector on this. Someone asked me, what did I like moving forward? I said GLD, and that was at 215. Now we're starting to break higher. So I was going to ask you, would you rather? Would you rather hold on to your gold at this price or silver at this price? Is there one that maybe looks better, or do we flip it all over into COMEX, something that holds both?
I would go gold at this level just because it's a little less overdone. If we look at the gold chart that I have up here, it's barely broken out of this prior high, and it's a
Right.
much more smooth area. And then silver is, again, I always call it, I think it was JC that taught me this, is called silver gold's crazy cousin, and just much more of a move here. So the reason I like gold here is because if both are overextended and a pullback may happen, I think you're going to get less of a pullback in gold than you are in silver. Silver, you just have that increased volatility. So for me, that's a little bit more for a trade, where gold is a little bit more for a longer term hold.
All right, I just want to tell this to everybody, thank you, Michael. I like gold, and I'm in there for the longer haul as well, because I didn't actually have any before just last week or 2 weeks ago, so shout out to that. I had never really held gold. But all right, Michael, everybody in the chat wants to ask you a million questions, but we don't have time. So they can find you at Michael Nauss, CMT, over there on X. I believe you're on Instagram. Anything else you're working on? Anything else you want to mention to any of our viewers?
Just my Substack, which is also Michael Nauss CMT. I put out detailed explanations of trades. So
Perfect.
if you want a written version of why I was interested in Hood today, I sent that out to people. You can check that out as well. A little more long form content than Twitter.
Perfect, works for us. Thank you, Michael. You know what? How about this? How about next Monday? I feel like this is a loaded question because I think you're going to say yes. How about we just do a Q&A? We'll go over 1 or 2 ideas, and then we'll throw it to the floor because they're jonesing for that. So we can find you all over X, and then we'll do a Q&A live on the show next week.
Absolutely. Sounds great.
That's Michael Nauss from Trader Talk from Trade Ideas. Thank you, Michael Nauss. There he is.
See you later.
All right. Well, a couple hours sleep later, we're now done.
Crazy.
So that's it. I started the day wanting to bang my head on the table, but we ended the day pretty good.
That's awesome. That's what
We're
matters.
pretty happy. Yeah, no, we're all good. You get that energy, when you're sitting here in front of the market and you really like doing what you're doing. I mean, it just comes through. Will I not crash on the couch is a different story. Probably not.
Really? I was going to think I thought you were going to say you 100% will. Okay, so you're saying.
So when I get home, I'm going to have my crazy cockapoo jumping all over me,
that'll wake you
going nuts. No, not wake me up. I'm just saying, we'll take her out for a walk. I got a special. Yeah. That dog of ours is something else. So I'll take her out. And then the kids are going to want to probably do something. You know what my son's doing? Geocaching. Now.
Really?
Yeah, so he downloads these apps, gets on the bike, and wants to go. So he was around yesterday. I was busy, so I promised him he wants to go a little extended areas. So we're going to probably do that. Maybe not. I want to see what he's feeling tonight. But that's what we've got planned. And then not too much else for tonight. And then a practice tomorrow, weather pending, for baseball. And I got some decent drills that they're going to be doing.
That's really fun.
What say you?
What say me for tonight? I mean, I don't want to be boring and say the answer I always give, but sleep.
Yeah?
I initially was going to do grocery shopping, but then I realized I know the grocery store by me is going to be closed for the holiday here. So I'm going to
The Rabba would be open if that's what's by you.
I could, but it's Freshco and they're individually owned.
Yeah, they won't be.
And the one who owns my Freshco is just closing it every holiday, unfortunately.
Period.
Yeah, so yeah.
You know what we did last night? We actually went to Loblaws, which is a major chain here.
Yeah.
And they did the pickup. So we ordered it. We were sitting around. We ordered it yesterday afternoon and picked it up at 6:30.
I could do that.
And they just dropped it. Well, no, it's closed.
That's true. Yeah, you're right.
Can't do it today. I was just liking that one there. The market's closed next Monday. Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's true.
No Michael Nauss. Oh. Failed by me. Sorry, Michael. No, Friday's me and Adair's Q&A. Come on, man. What are you trying to do? What are you trying to do, Fabian? All right, thank you for watching us. Oh, quick check. Pan W. Traders stay late. Unfortunately, if you're a trader and you have Pan W, you should have gone home at 4 o'clock.
It's a pan.
Right now.
It's a pan.
Yeah, it's a pan. It's not a pandemic yet, but
it's a pan L. It's not a pan W.
It's not a pan W. It's a pan L. Yeah, it's a pan D, pan disaster.
But you're right, it could be near a pandemic. You're right.
Yeah. So yeah, geocaching is fun with kids for sure, Michelle. We like that one. And then the other big one is Zoom. I'm not going to go over anything else. Zoom holding flat. Zoom will maybe be a no trade tomorrow, but I think we'll be into Pan W. Remember the last couple times we had some bad days off earnings. Let me just click this over here for a weekly chart. I think this one will bounce. I haven't looked at the numbers very well, but last time we had a couple days and then whoop, right back up to the upside. So there we are right now on Pan W. Thank you so much for joining. Thanks for joining me again, Adara. Dara. I guess you're pretty much on this show now forever, so good job
I
on
love
that one.
being here.
Hopefully
Thanks
you'll
for
take
having
it
me.
over from me one day. But there it is right now. Thank you so much for joining. We're going to be back tomorrow at 8:30. We got to thank a big special thank you to Michael Nauss, who joined us not only at 8:45 on a holiday. I forgot to say Happy Victoria Day to him. The guy's in Canada. And joins us today, right now, into the close. So thank you, Michael, for taking time away from your family today to do that. So big shout out to Michael Nauss and to everybody here in Canada. Happy Victoria Day. Almost over. Get your last couple of fun
Get
in
your last
there.
few hours.
Get your last few hours in there. But you and I are here tomorrow, hopefully, at 8:30. So join us then. Follow us at Trader TV, Sean and Adair. Smash the like, smash all of that, and we'll see you tomorrow. Ciao.
Bye.